Welcome to Onondaga Community College for tonight's matchup between the Onondaga Flames and the Syracuse Spartans. Onondaga Flames have a record of 16-11, and the Syracuse Spartans have a record of 14-11. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon. And Eric, Connor Morris are on the mound. He's performed well as of late. What should the fans expect from him tonight?
Well, his last start was last Saturday against the Cortland Crush, and he was fantastic for the first 4 innings of that start. He's been getting better as the season has gone on. It's taken him a little longer than some of the pitchers on the staff to find his mojo, but when he found it against the Cortland Crush in the first 4 innings of his start that night, he got that mojo going.
He sure did, and that's the thing. His ERA doesn't really speak to the kind of pitcher he is. He has the highest ERA on the team at a 7.31, but he has 14 strikeouts. This is a guy that's been very consistent as of late. His struggles came against the same team, the Syracuse Spartans, at Blank Field the first or second time we saw him play. It escapes me which one it was, but he struggled quite a bit, and he gave up 5 runs in the first inning, was pulled immediately. But after that, Eric, he was able to find his rhythm, and he's been very consistent as of late.
Yeah, and he's been pitching well as of late. That start against the Spartans, he didn't even get out of the first inning.
But we shall take you through the starting lineups here for the Syracuse Spartans. Batting first, playing center field, is Josh Loeffler. Batting second, playing shortstop, Andrew Padone. Batting third, the designated hitter, is going to be John Masagano. Batting fourth, in right field, Eddie Peachman. Batting fifth, at third base is Lou Michelli. Batting sixth at first base is Brandon Shirley. Batting seventh, playing second base, is Ray Zincone. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 1, Nolan Watson. And batting ninth in left field, Nicholas Spinella. And here we are, just about ready for first pitch here. This should be a fantastic matchup. It's number 1 versus number 2 here in the NYCBL East standings. And, Eric, I don't know where else I'd rather be on a Friday night.
Oh, this is going to be a fantastic game to enjoy here on Friday night.
So here it is, the first pitch for Loeffler. Cut on down the line to Jared Groskuth over to first base to Corbin Paxton for out number 1. And just like that, Connor Morrisroe goes right to work.
Well, that's a great first start against the Spartans. First pitch, rather. He got the ground ball, and that's something we've been seeing from the Spartans as of late. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games since they beat the Flames a little less than 2 weeks ago, and it's because they haven't been driving the ball as much. They've been hitting a lot more ground balls.
They sure have. This is Andrew Padone, the next batter up. First pitch for Padone. Check swing. Did he go? And they're going to say either way it was a strike. So strike 1 in there for Andrew Padone. Connor Morrisroe sets up, and Padone's just kind of getting an explanation. Now they're saying if he went, he didn't go, so it's actually going to be ball 1. Count goes to 1-0, excuse me. But that was a very close check swing from Padone. Here's pitch number 2 from Morrisroe. This one cut on down the left field line, but foul. And now the count will even up at a ball and a strike.
Home plate umpire tonight is Thomas Conaboy. Field umpire is Sean Martin.
Always need to know who your umpires are because the umpires play a major role in this game. And we saw that last night with head coach Mike Cordero getting ejected. This pitch is going to miss high and outside for ball 2. Count goes to 2-1. And, Eric, we're still not really sure what the status of Mike Cordero is. He's been on the field. We saw him at the umpires meeting there before the game, and I think he's still in the dugout as well. So we're not really sure if he's technically coaching the team or not tonight. Either way, here's the 2-1, and it's going to be inside and missing low for ball 3. Count goes to 3-1.
The information we were given was that he was suspended for 2 or 3 games. We were hearing 2 or 3 from multiple people. However, he appears to be in the dugout tonight, perhaps coaching.
Well, perhaps he's coaching. Here's the 3-1 from Morrisroe, missing way inside, and there's the first base runner for the Spartans, as Morrisroe throws a couple of balls and has walked his first batter. This is John Masagno, the designated hitter here for the Syracuse Spartans. Masagno, second on the team in batting average, batting at .395.
And getting back to Mike Cordero for just a second, what's notable is that Robert Andrews signed the lineup card tonight.
That's the one thing I noticed as well, but we'll have to figure that out as the game goes on. This pitch is going to be in there on the inside corner for strike 1 against John Masagno. Masagno's had 76 at-bats, and he's connected on 30 balls as he's hit 30 for 76 coming into this ball game with 13 RBIs to his name as well. As Morrisroe is going to check on Padone over at first base. the first base runner of the ball game for the Syracuse Spartans. And Morrisville looks strong. First pitch was a soft grounder to Jared Groskuth, but since then seems to struggle just a little bit, but trying to get right back into his rhythm. This pitch missing low in the turf for ball one. Count goes to 1-1.
Well, when he's in his groove, he's throwing strikes, but when he's not, he misses the zone quite frequently. And we saw a tale of two Connors really in the first two at-bats. The first pitch ground out, and then the 5-pitch walk to Padone.
This pitch chopped. Let's see, McLean O'Connor or Jared Groskuth can make the play. There's the one on second for 1, but fired over to first, and it's not in time. So reaching on a fielder's choice is John Masagno, but Andrew Padone will not reach scoring position for the Spartans.
And there's really nothing you can do about that for the Flames infield and trying to get the double play. The ball just simply wasn't hit hard enough. It was a slow chopper, good play to get the lead runner at second, and now you're 1 out away from getting out of the inning, but tough player at the plate to get out.
Sure is. Here's Eddie Peachman, the right fielder, leads his team in home runs. He is the big bat for the Spartans with 3 of them on the season. See if Morrisville can get out of this situation with a runner on first base, 2 away here in the top of the first inning as Morrisville steps off the mound just for a second. Peachman coming into this ball game batting a .301, and I tell you, you go down the top 7 batters on point streak, and they're all batting above 300. So a very impressive lineup as that pitch misses high and outside for ball 1. This is a very capable Syracuse Spartans team. They've been at the top, as I mentioned in the pregame, all season long in the NYCBL standings. But we'll see if Peachman, what he can do at the plate here. As Morrisville comes set, here's the 1-0. This one popped foul. And it'll be the first strike of this at-bat for Peachman. Count goes to 1-1. 25 for 83 on the season so far is Peachman. 15 RBIs to his names. But he also leads the team in strikeouts with 25. Morrisville and Peterson working together, and he's going to try to pick off Padone at first, but he's back safely in time. John Masagno is over there at first base now, but he's back in time, and count stays at 1-1 as the pitch was not thrown.
Peachman, as we mentioned, 3 homers on the year. 2 of them came against the Flames in their last meeting.
And that is checked on one more time as Masagno, but were they just moonshots at Blink Field?
They were absolute bombs.
Yeah.
You know, a bomb to the right of the 393 sign is center, which is a little shorter than 393, and then to the left of the sign, which is at least 400.
Peachman's a huge player as well. As stealing a base is Masagno, the throw, he's safe. So he's in there with a stolen base. Nice throw from Trace Peterson. Just unable to tag him is Brian Hart in there at second base this evening, but now a runner in the scoring position here as that pitch missed outside for ball 2. Count goes to 2-1 on Peachman. Peachman is a huge player. He's 6'4", and he's listed at 210 pounds, and he is all of that 210 pounds at the plate. John Masagno on second base with 2 away. A 2-1 count here for Eddie Peachman, the right fielder. Here's a 2-1 for Morrisville. Curveball, and it's in there for strike 2. Count evens up at 2-2 here on Peachman. Morrisville would love to get a strikeout here, or at least a soft ground out to get out of the inning.
And watch out for the hole on the right side and the hole in the gap in right center field. Peachman might try to go the other way if he gets a pitch on the outer part of the plate.
And there is a slight breeze this evening, so that could very well happen. This pitch way away from Trace Peterson, and Masagno's going to advance on a wild pitch as that one wasn't even close to Peterson. And just like you mentioned, Eric, when he misses badly.
Mainly because he misses often with pitches, you know, when he's not in his groove. But that was just one that got away. And also one you don't worry about the runner because there are 2 outs in the inning.
Exactly.
Just get the guy out at the plate.
Exactly. Do your work and don't let another Spartan come up to bat here. And at least it didn't get past Peterson in time to score Masagno, so he's over there at third base now. 3-2 payoff from Morrisville. This one popped up. See if Colin Matthews can make the play. He's ranging back, and it's to the wall, and it's down, and will score the first run of the ball game. Eddie Peachman will put the brakes on at second base, but just like that, the Syracuse Spartans get on the board with an RBI double here in the top of the first inning.
And Peachman, the good hitter he is, knew he was going to get a pitch to hit on 3-2, especially after that last one for Morrisville was so far outside. And Peachman, he was a little late on the fastball. But I think that was because he was trying to go the other way because he saw those holes on the right side of the field, and he was able to hit it past the reach of Colin Matthews down the right field line for the RBI double.
And the slight breeze definitely played a role in that last hit as it just got to the wall in fair territory. This pitch in there for strike one. This is Lou Michelli, who leads the team in batting average coming into this ball game. He also leads the team in at-bats. He has 94 at-bats, and he's 38 for 94 in the season with a 404 batting average. 0-1 count here. Peachman on second base. The 0-1 misses high, and the count will go to 1-1.
Michelli is an RBI machine for this team and an Ironman. He's played in every single game as the team's only third baseman, and he's second in the league, first on the team with 25 RBIs.
25 RBIs in position to get number 26 with Eddie Peachman in scoring position out on second base. Here's the 1-1 from Morrisville. This one popped up. Let's see if Corbin Paxton can make a play or if it will blow out of bounds, and it will get into the Spartans bullpen, and the count will go to 1-2. And Eric, you mentioned it. Connor Morrisville needing to focus on the batter at hand. Wasn't able to get the job done with Eddie Peachman. Now he's just got to focus on Lou Michelli and not let these pitches get away from him.
Well, and he has a couple to work with the 1-2 count. However, he did have a pitch to work with against Peachman, and that one was just a bit outside. We'll see how things work out in this at-bat.
We shall see. Here's the 1-2 as Morrisville gets the sign from Peterson. And will deliver the 1-2. This curveball will not curve as it doesn't break at all. And just like that, count goes to 2-2 as Lou Michelli had a duck to avoid that pitch. And the sun's playing a factor as Trace Peterson has to cover his catcher's mask with his glove to see what the sign is from Robert Anders. But either way, gets the sign. Here's the 2-2 as Morrisville winds up and delivers. This one chopped hard down the third base line. Groskuth fires it over to Corbin Paxton. There's out number 3, but the damage is done. The Syracuse Spartans score on an RBI double from Eddie Peachman. We'll be right back to give you the bottom of the first inning right here on Team Line. Welcome back to OCC Stadium here in the bottom of the first inning. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon, and just like that, there's the signal as Will Chapman's going to come out as the first base coach, and I assume David Dennis will take his role at the third base coach, but we shall see what's going on here. But either way, McLean O'Connor will lead things off for the Flames, and Nathan Saprosky will be on the mound for the Syracuse Spartans. Saprosky has appeared in 5 games, pitched 22 in the third innings, as Mike Cordero will make an appearance. So it looks like his suspension is not going to go on here tonight, as Saprosky's first pitch misses high and outside for ball 1. McLean O'Connor coming into this ball game batting a .409, 9 for 22, and he has been the bright spot in the lineup for the Flames as of late. the 1-0. And it's in there with a fastball right down the pipe for strike one.
Now, it's entirely possible that Mike Cordero is appealing
Yeah.
the suspension. If he has been suspended, that is very likely the case based on the word we got.
1-1, shot back towards us, and just like that, count goes to 1-2. I just think that Cordero has done such a nice job this season, and you never really see him blow up like he did last night. But again, he was getting his money's worth, if you will, last night as he was exiting the field, and I assume that he's either appealing it or didn't get suspended at all, as that pitch is exactly the same result as the last one, as it's popped foul back towards the screen one more time. We'll do the 1-2 count one more time for the shortstop, McLean O'Connor. But McLean, like I said, 9 for 22, has scored 5 runs himself, has 2 doubles and a triple to his credit so far this season. Here's the 1-2. This one's going to pop back towards the screen again, so he's seeing Saprowski early really well. But, that triple kind of just speaks to the speed this guy has. This is probably the fastest guy, by far the fastest guy on this team. It'd be close between him and Adam Gordon, but, I've seen his speed on display over the last 2 weeks, and this guy, he can fly when he's running around the base path. Here's the 1-2. It's going to miss high for ball 2. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And can you talk about his speed just a little bit more, Eric?
Well, the fact of the matter is McLean in general right now is just flaming hot
this
week, the way he's hitting at the plate and with his speed.
2-2, chopped foul down the right field line, and we'll do the 2-2 one more time.
He's 5 for 9 in the last 3 games. 2 for 4 yesterday. One with the game-winning triple 2 nights ago. That was his only at bat. And then, of course, the big game against Sherrill on Monday. 2 for 4, 2 homers, 1 grand slam. Both homers came in the first inning.
Just a terrific player for this team. Here's the 2-2. This one popped up. Let's see if Padone can make a play on it, and he's underneath it for out number 1. So there's one down. We'll run you through the Flames lineup here. Batting first was McLean O'Connor playing shortstop. Batting second, Mike Stefan playing left field. Batting third, Brian Hart playing second base. Batting fourth in right field is Colin Matthews. Batting fifth is Corbin Paxton at first base. Batting sixth, Trace Peterson, who's the catcher tonight. Batting seventh, Jack Chernow in center field. Batting eighth, Jared Groskuth playing third base. And batting ninth, the designated hitter, A.J. DiFilippo. First pitch on Mike Stefan is going to bounce into the turf for ball 1. Stefan has been coming on as of late as well, as he's batting a .208 on the season. He's 11 for 53 at the plate. This pitch is going to bounce off of Watson's glove, and that's going to be ball 2. Count goes to 2-0. But Stefan, he has 14 walks to his name. This is a very patient batter and someone that you can always expect a quality at-bat out of. 2-0 count here on Stefan as Saprowski winds up. Here's the 2-0. This one chopped hard down the left field line. Mike Cordero thought about it, but then said, you know what, that one might be too hard on a bare hand. And the count goes to 2-1.
And he's been getting a lot more at-bats as of late as a right-handed batter. On Sunday, he got the start against the lefty Greg Geiger. He gets the start against the lefty once again tonight. And he's starting an average of pretty much every other game at this point in the season.
Here's the 2-1. This one chopped foul off his foot. And he's going to walk that one off. Count evens up at 2-2 now for Stefan, as he's just going to need a second here to regain his composure. Taking one of those off your foot has to be very painful, Eric.
It's got to be painful because you're hitting the ball right into your foot. There's nothing in between it. And we're talking about, sometimes it's a breaky ball in the 70-mile-per-hour range, sometimes the fastball in the 90-mile-per-hour range.
Right.
But those are some fast pitches. And if that goes off your bat straight into your foot, it's got to hurt at least a little bit.
For sure. Stefan has 5 RBIs to his name, only 10 strikeouts, and 53 at-bats. This one driven hard to Padone on the ground, but it's over to first base. That's Shirley picking up for out number 2. And just like that, 2 up, 2 down for the Flames so far in this ball game. This is Brian Hart, who's playing second base this evening. He's been moving all around the field as of late, playing second base, shortstop, third base, left field. This is a very versatile ball player that the Flames have here, and he's been doing a really nice job this season. 2 outs here, and Saprowski trying to work quickly, get the first 3 batters out of the ball game. This pitch is a curveball that's going to be in there for strike 1. But Brian Hart, another player who's been on his best as of late, batting a .274 coming into this ball game. This one he's cut on and missed for strike 2. But 274. But the one area he does lead the team in, an area you don't want to lead the team in, is strikeouts. He has 22 of them to be exact, and in position to perhaps get number 23 as he calls time. But Brian Hart, like I said, 23 for 84 at the plate, 18 RBIs, 6 doubles, 3 triples, and a home run to his name so far this season. The 0-2 on the inside corner, but it's going to miss outside that inside corner. Count goes to 1-2.
Those are his stats on point streak. However, there's one game not in there, so Hart's average goes up. It's at 287 coming into this one, and he has 25 hits on the year in 25 games.
Just like that, he's going to trap one foul down the right field line to stay alive, as the Flames have yet to register a base runner in this ball game.
But they're putting together good at-bats.
Yes,
they're making
yes,
Saprowski work because he's already approaching 20 pitches, and this is only the third batter of the inning.
Good point, Eric. Here's the 1-2 to Brian Hart, and he fouls it off the end of his bat to stay alive. And it's what the Flames strive for every night, is to have quality at-bats, and we've seen that out of McLean O'Connor, Mike Stefani, and now Brian Hart as well. But we'll see what Saprowski has in store for Brian Hart with this one. So here's the 1-2. This one inside. He's going to hold off, and the count evens up at 2-2 on the second baseman out of Bryant University.
And getting back to his versatility, he's been able to play so many positions in the field because Mike Cordell's just trying to find a spot for him in the lineup.
As that one misses high, count goes to full. And talk about a quality at-bat, Eric. Here's a full count now. Brian Hart worked himself into.
Part of why he's been such a good hitter for this team throughout the whole season.
Sure has. Here's the 3-2 payoff. Cut on and miss, and just like that, another strikeout to his name. Flames go down 1-2-3, and they still trail the Syracuse Spartans 1-0 going into the top of the second inning. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Onondaga Flames Team Line live stream. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon. Let's give you the field of where the players are in the field, I should say, as Connor Morrisro's on the mound. Trace Peterson is behind the plate at the catcher position. Going right to left in the infield, it's Corbin Paxton, Brian Hart at second, McLean O'Connor at short, and Jared Groskuth at third base. And here is Brandon Shirley, who's going to step into the batter's box. I'll give you the rest of the lineup in the field in just a second. Morrisro's first pitch is going to miss high and outside for ball one. Going left to right in the outfield, it's Mike Stefan, Jack Cherno, and Colin Matthews are your three outfielders for the Flames this evening. 1-0 is the count here. This one misses inside, almost tagging Shirley, and just like that, count goes to 2-0. But like Eric mentioned earlier in the broadcast, when Morrisro misses, he misses badly, and just like that, almost had a hit by pitch there for Brandon Shirley. The 2-0. And it's going to be in there, the inside corner for strike one. Count goes to 2-1 on Shirley, the first baseman who's batting at .283 on the season. 11 RBIs to his credit. He's 15 for 53 at the plate. This pitch misses outside for ball three, and now Morrisro has to be careful because he's about to walk his second batter of the ball game. Marshall taking his time to get set here on the mound, and he's going to deliver the 3-1. 3-1 is going to miss low, and just like that, he has surrendered his second walk of the ball game, bringing up Ray Zincone, the second baseman. Zincone is fifth on the team in batting average with a 306, playing second base this evening. Very talented infield for the Syracuse Spartans, and that's exactly why they have the record of 14-11 coming into this ball game. Runner on first is Brandon Shirley. Squaring the bunt, not going to be able to get it down in fair territory, is Ray Zincone, and just like that, that's strike one on the second baseman. But he is 19 for 62 at the plate this season, scored 12 runs himself, batted in 8 runs, and has collected 6 walks to his name. Has 1 home run and 2 doubles as well. So this is a guy who can pick up a couple of extra base hits, and the Spartans still lead the Flames 1-0 here in the top of the second. Morrisville comes set, squaring the bunt again, pulls it back in time, and if Corbin Paxton was covering the bag, they might have been able to throw out Brandon Shirley, but Corbin Paxton was running in on the bunt, and there was no one covering the bag. Either way, that pitch missed the zone, and the count is now 1-1 for Ray Zincone. Morrisville checking on Shirley, see if he checks him, and he will, over at first base. Zincone plays his college ball at the Rhode Island College, where he had a pretty successful sophomore campaign. 1-1 is the count here for Zincone. Checking on the runner at first base one more time is Morrisville. Brandon Shirley reached on a walk if you're just joining us here in the top of the second inning. Shirley takes about a 2-step lead off the first base bag. And Morrisville, let's see what he does. He's going to deliver. Zincone's going to pop one up off the bunt attempt, but it's going to get out of play, and just like that, count goes to 1-2.
And clearly he's trying to bunt for a base hit a little bit too, because he's trying a little drag bunt. He's trying to get out of the box really quickly after he bunts the ball, and he's bringing the bat head down a little bit. He's popped one up already. That last one was all the way into the netting, pretty high into the netting behind home plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes is your count. Let's see if Zincone is gutsy enough to square the bunt one more time. I doubt it, though, and he won't, as he watches the fastball miss the outside corner for ball 2, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if perhaps maybe the hit and run will be on, but Brandon Shirley's over there at first base. He does have 11, count them, 11 stolen bases on the season. And Morrisville is very aware of that as he checks him over at first base. He is 11 for 11 on stolen bases this season for the Spartans. And let's see if he can keep distracting Connor Morrisville. Morrisville is going to come set here. Here's the 2-2. This one chopped hard down the third base line. Groskuth fires it over to Brian Hart and then over to first for the double play. So a 5-4-3 double play for the Flames, and there are 2 outs.
That was tailor-made, and I tell you what, Jared Groskuth's been getting a lot of action at third base tonight. Already his 4th assist.
Yeah. And
that's a double play that's perfectly executed, and that's what you expect on a tailor-made ground ball like that one.
Absolutely. And how about the clam chowder that his mother brought in all the way from Rhode Island? That was delicious, so a special thank you to her. First pitch for Nolan Watson is going to be driven down the right field line, but it's going to go into foul territory. Nolan Watson, the catcher this evening for the Spartans. He's had a pretty successful campaign as well. 393 batting average coming into this ball game. He only has had 28 at-bats, but he's made the most of them, going 11 for 28 coming into this one. The 0-1, this one's going to go down the right field line, but out of play one more time. And just like that, Connor Morrisville trying to go 1-2-3 against the Spartans.
He only had 1 plate appearance his last time against the Flames, Nolan Watson, but it was a big one. Reached out a walk in the 11th inning, came around to score the winning run on a wild pitch by Nick Garcia.
The 0-2 for Morrisville. It's in there for strike 3, and there's strikeout victim number 1 for Morrisville. Spartans go down 1-2-3, and they still lead the Flames 1-0. We'll be right back here on Team Line. Welcome back to OCC Stadium here in the bottom of the second inning. Flames trail the Spartans 1-0 as Nathan Saprosky is going to be back on the mound for his second inning of work. And up to bat for the Onondaga Flames is going to be number 23, the right fielder. This is Colin Matthews. First pitch for Matthews is inside for strike one. And Colin Matthews is looking at Mike Cordero like, what the heck was that? As he had to just step back and miss that pitch, but it's going to be on the inside corner as Saprosky steps off the mound. Colin Matthews coming into this ball game batting a .320 on the season, but I'm sure that could go up and down according to Point Streak. That pitch is cut on and missed for strike two.
What did you say his batting average was on Point Streak?
.320, but let's get an update from
.333.
you. .333, and it should be. I mean, he's been on an absolute tear as of late. The 0-2 misses high, and Colin Matthews isn't going to swing at that. And the count goes to 1-2 here on the Kent State right fielder.
And the missing game doesn't affect every player, though.
Curveball misses high and outside for ball two. Can you explain just a little bit more, Eric?
So basically, only the players that played in that one Sherrill game have their stats affected by the missing game. Everybody else is fine.
2-2. This one's just, swing. It's going to get down for a base hit. And just like that, the Flames have their first base runner of the ball game. I'm not even sure if Colin Matthews thought that was going to get down in fair territory, but it did. And just like that, a base hit for Colin Matthews.
That was a fantastic piece of hitting by Matthews. He took a two-strike breaking ball that was well inside on him. You know, he got jammed on the pitch, but it was a good thing because he just dropped it into left center field. Usually when you get jammed, you just can't hit it well. It saws off your hands, and it's a blooper right to an infielder. This one into left center field, it shows its power, too. He got the base hit out of it.
Here's Corbin Paxton, as that pitch is going to get there on the inside corner for strike one. Is Corbin Paxton's stats affected by that Sherrill game, Eric?
They were. His batting average points should be a little he's hitting above the Mendoza line. He's hitting the 205, unlike what Point Streak says.
Colin Matthews has a decent lead, and that's why Saprosky is going to check on him at first base. But he's back in time. No need to worry. But a change has been made in the coaches' boxes as of late, as Will Chapman has been the first base coach over the last couple of nights. I guess he's alternating roles with Dave Dennis, but has been doing a pretty nice job. See if he can coach himself at protecting Colin Matthews at first base. Corbin Paxton thought about swinging, didn't go. Good thing he didn't, because it was a ball. Count evens up at 1-1 here on the first baseman. Plays his college ball at Lake Erie College. This has been the matchup we thought. A lot of defense on display so far, but the Flames trying to tie it up with Colin Matthews would be the game-tying run as he's checked down one more time at first base, but he's back safely. Well, these are two teams that have played a fair amount of ball games. Syracuse Spartans have had the upper hand in all of the games so far this season, but they haven't played here at OCC Stadium. This is the first matchup the Flames and the Spartans will have here at home. This one cut on it down the left field line. See if it drops from fair territory, and it will just miss outside. And it'll be a long strike for strike two and a foul ball. But, man, if that one got down, that could have easily scored Colin Matthews with his speed.
Yeah, it got down, but just in foul territory. Matthews, I think, would have had to been held up at third base. With nobody out, though, that would have been the safe decision. As for the Spartans, though, they have played here at OCC before, though. They played the Saltcats on June 29th, last Friday, beat them 12-6 here at OCC. Of course, the Saltcats towards the bottom in the Eastern Division.
1-2 strikes is the count here on Corbin Paxton. Here's the 1-2 delivered, and it's going to be on the outside corner. I can't believe that one was called strike three, but it is. And just like that, Corbin Paxton goes down on strikes. That's strikeout victim number 2 for Saprowski on the mound. And here's his teammate, Corbin Paxton's teammate, that is, Trace Peterson.
The home plate umpire tonight, Thomas Conboy, has been very consistent with that call on the left side of the plate to both sides, whether against left-handed batters or right-handed batters. He is calling that part of the plate for pitchers.
And he sure is doing that. Here's the first pitch for Peterson. That one's on the outside corner of the right batter's box, but it's going to be outside for ball one. With one away, runner on first base is Colin Matthews. Trace Peterson's at the plate here with Jack Chernow on deck. Saprowski checking on Matthews and then delivers. And that one's going to miss low for ball two. Count goes to 2-0 on Peterson, who I'm guessing is affected by the Sherrill game as well, Eric?
He was affected, but very little. Only 1 point when it comes to batting average. 265 on point streak, 264 in reality.
So the 2-0. Peterson thought about swinging at that. Doesn't go. And just like that, count goes to 3-0. Flames could have runners on first and second if Saprowski isn't careful this next pitch, as I'd be very surprised if Trace takes a cut at this one. But see if Saprowski has in store for him, as Colin Matthews is just jumping all around over there at first base, and just like that, he's checked on one more time, and he's becoming quite the distraction out there at first base, doing his job as Will Chapman nods him on.
It's all you have to be at first base to get a pitcher out of his rhythm. Be a distraction.
Man, look at him with the happy feet. Saprowski delivers to Peterson, and just like that, loses focus and surrenders a walk, the first of the ball game. And the Flames now have runners on first and second with one of your favorite players, or one of your most consistent players, Steady Eddie, Jack Chernow, coming up the bat here for the Onondaga Flames. Subbed into the ball game last night after Adam Gordon slid into the second base bag and jammed up his wrist, or perhaps it was his finger. We'll have to get more details on that. But Jack Chernow is going to make the start in center field.
It appeared precautionary at the time when Gordon came out of the game because he played an inning and a half after.
Right. First pitch is going to be in there for strike one. Nice bounce back pitch from Saprowski. Runner on first base is Trace Peterson. And on second is Colin Matthews with one away. 0-1 count here for the center fielder out of Columbia University, Jack Chernow. Saprowski checking all around. Here's the 0-1, and it's right in there for strike two. Chernow is another guy who can really work the count when he's at the plate. This is a guy who can draw a ton of walks according to point streak. He does have 19 of them on the season. Does he have more from that Sherrill game?
I believe he has 20.
So
20 walks.
20 walks in the season. That's a lot as he fights off that pitch, staying alive. Count will stay at 0-2 here on Chernow.
Now, that two-strike pitch has been very tough as of late for Saprosky. One thing that Christian de Guzman, the Spartan broadcaster, told us before the game is that Saprosky really had his pitch count was really going up, and it is tonight because the Sherrill hitters just kept fighting off that two-strike pitch after two-strike pitch.
Right.
Flames are doing the same thing tonight. We're used to seeing that from the Flames, but Saprosky, it's a little frustrating for him on the mound.
0-2. This one is popped down to shallow the outfield. It's going to drop down for a base knock. Here comes Colin Matthews representing the game-tying run. He's easily sliding home. And just like that, an RBI single scores the game-tying run from Steady Eddie Jack Cherno, getting the job done one more time.
Well, there's another blooper. You know, it's a tough two-strike pitch again to fight off, but he did a great job to fight it off and just drop it into left center field. It got by all three Spartan players going after the shortstop Padone, the left fielder Spinola, the center fielder Loeffler. They had a tough time corralling it, and with Matthews' speed, he was home easily as a result.
He sure was, and just like that, Flames have tied this ball game up at 1 apiece, and here is Jared Groskuth, the third baseman out of Rhode Island Community College. Let's see if he can drive in another run to break this tie. First pitch on the inside corner. This time, not called a strike, though. It's going to be ball one. That might have been just too far inside, as it appeared to be very close to the last time Saprosky threw that pitch in the same area. 1-0 is the count. Groskuth cut it hard. This is going to be another base knock, and he's sending him home. Here comes Trace Peterson. Oh, no, he puts the brakes on him. Smart decision by Mike Cordero. That's exactly why the Flames need him there. But the Flames have done their part in loading up the bases for one of the best hitters on the team. This is A.J. DiFilippo.
Yeah, DiFilippo batting ninth. Usually, the designated hitter, you don't see the DH bat ninth typically in a batting order, but DiFilippo down there tonight, he hasn't been hitting as well as of late, but he's still a good hitter on this team. You know he can turn it on a dime. That 6 RBI game against Hornell comes to mind. He's just trying to get back going again.
And he's in position to do that with bases loaded here. Flames trying to break this 1-1 tie. Cut on and missed for strike one, though. And the reason why I assume he's not playing any of the positions in the field is because he made 2 errors in the ball game last night. 2 errors at third base, overthrew Corbin Paxton on first a couple of times. And, you know, he had a rough night, but he's been consistent with the bat. Here's the 0-1. This one should be down, and it is going to get down. This is going to be another base knock, and this will break the tie as Trace Peterson comes around the score. And just like that, the Onondaga Flames take the lead. It's now 2-1.
And it shows that Saprosky's struggling a bit with those pitches. You know, baseball is a game of inches in that way. You know, he's getting that pitch, he's jamming batters, but the Flames, for their credit, give credit to the Flames for fighting off those pitches and turning them into base hits and RBIs. But also, he's just not missing the zone enough intentionally with that pitch to fool hitters and to get outs right now.
So it is now 2-1. Flames take the lead with McLean O'Connor. This is a guy who is no stranger to the RBI as he watches that first pitch hit the outside corner for strike one. And I say that hopefully without jinxing him, but he does have 3 RBIs to his name. Had the game-winning RBI triple.
9 RBIs to his name.
Excuse me, 9.
6 against Sherrill on Monday.
How can I forget that, as that game needs to be updated still. That pitch misses low. But, again, this is a guy who has just been such a crucial element. He's really solidified himself as the starter at shortstop. Never makes an error. I should say rarely makes an error because I don't want to jinx him, but he does do his part in the field as well.
He actually has 1 error on the year. That was also in the Sherrill game.
This one's cut on and missed for strike 2, but with only 1 away, bases still loaded for the Flames, and they could do more damage here in the bottom of the second inning, but still waiting for that game to get updated on point streak. Just been a slow process, but no worries because we have Eric Moon with the stats, and he's always on his game in that department, so we thank him for that. Here's the 0-2 for McLean O'Connor, right up the middle, and it's fumbled, but on the bag for second base there. There's Padone. That's out number 2, but it's going to score another run. Jack Cherno comes on home, and just like that, on a fielder's choice, McLean O'Connor is going to reach first base and collect an RBI.
It is an RBI, his 10th RBI of the year. He has the RBI. Cherno has his 7th RBI of the year. The Columbia guys got a couple too. DiFilippo has the team lead, sole possession of the team lead once again in that category with 21 on the year. And the Flames are just using small ball to their benefit right now to get 3 runs on the board and the lead.
They sure are. Here it is. Mike Stefan's going to square the bunt, and Nolan Watson unable to get there. Strange decision with 2 away, but Mike Stefan trying to use a little more of that small ball there. He isn't the fastest guy, so it is definitely a bizarre decision there, but trying to get another run here, that would definitely be a suicide squeeze with 2 away. Let's see if he squares the bunt again. I really doubt it, though, with 1 strike.
No, he was squaring up the bunt to try and catch the Spartan defense off guard, and the Spartan defense hasn't been all that perfect this inning for their part, and Stefan's trying to get on base, get a run home by catching them on their heels.
0-1 count now for Stefan, and it's going to be in there for strike 2, hitting that outside corner. So McLean O'Connor out there on first base. Jared Groskuth is on third base now. Runners on the corners for the Flames. 2 outs with an 0-2 count for Mike Stefan. See if he can drive another run. Flames lead 3-1. Here's the 0-2. This one cut on, and it should be a base hit, and it will be. And just like that, the hitting parade continues as Mike Stefan drives in an RBI single. Flames go up 4-1 here in the bottom of the second inning.
Well, it's a great piece of hitting, and it shows that 2-strike pitch is still not working for Saprowski. He just leaves an off-speed right down Broadway, and Stefan laces into left for the RBI hit. 4-1 Flames.
And time is going to be called, but just as you always referred to it as a cookie right over the plate, and Mike Stefan gets a nice piece of that, and just it seems like almost every single base hit has been in the same exact area of the field. Flames are really working this home field advantage in their favor. And again, after last night's embarrassing loss to the Silversmiths, and with all the drama with head coach Mike Cordero, I know this team wants to go get a win for their coach and to redeem themselves. 4-1 is the lead now, and this is Brian Hart with a chance to drive in a couple more runs. Brian Hart watches that first pitch blow by, and it's a good reason because it's outside for ball 1. Was a strikeout victim last time he was up. Trying to change his fortunes, though, here with a runner in scoring position. It's McLean O'Connor, and McLean can definitely score on a base hit. This one cut down the left field line for another base hit, and just like that, McLean O'Connor rounding third base. He's going to come home, and just like that, an RBI double from Brian Hart is going to score another run. Flames go up 5-1 in the bottom of the second inning.
And the doubles machine is at it again. Brian Hart with his 7th double of the season, easily first on the team, and it is a huge inning for the Flames now. 5 runs, and they're doing it with singles.
Right.
And not even all of them well hit, just half of them. 3 of the 6 hits have been well hit, but the last 2 have.
They sure have. This is Colin Matthews, and the Flames have officially batted up and down the lineup. This will be Colin Matthews' second at-bat of the inning. First pitch for Matthews, it's going to be inside, almost tagging him in the foot, but he hops back just to miss it. Count goes to 1-0. Colin Matthews started off this hitting parade with a single, had that jam shot that got down for a base knock, came around to score a run as well. Part of the 5 runs on the scoreboard. Here's the second pitch, is cut on and missed from Colin Matthews for strike 1. Man, I mean, the Flames, when they're hot, they are hot. And just like that, putting up a 5-piece so far here in the bottom of the second with 2 away and potentially more here. Colin Matthews watches that one miss him, and it's going to be in there for strike 2, So the count goes to 1-2 here on the right fielder. But this is where Saprowski has struggled with the 2 strikes on the board. Can he finish? Watson gives him the sign. He deals the 1-2, misses outside, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is exactly the same scenario that Colin Matthews was in the last time he was at the plate, as he had the 2-2 count. But the jam shot, he was able to ride it out into left field for a base hit. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Colin Matthews cut on and miss. It's a drop third strike, but Watson is going to throw him out at first. But the damage is done. The Flames put up a crooked number in the bottom of the second inning. The score is the Onondaga Flames 5, the Syracuse Spartans 1. We'll be right back with Eric Moon taking over play-by-play duties right here on Team Line.
Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. Flames leading the Spartans 5-1 after putting up all 5 runs in the last half inning when 10 batters came to the plate and the Flames record 6 hits off of Nate Saprosky. Here's Connor Morriser on the mump, and Nick Spinella pops it up to the right side of the infield. 3 Flames going after. Colin Matthews, the right fielder, calls him off, and he makes the out. 1 pitch, 1 out to begin the 3rd inning. That brings up the top of the order now for the Spartans. It is Josh Loeffler, the center fielder. Eric Moon, Morgan Chapman with you on tonight's broadcast. This edition of Flames Baseball. Flames 16-11 on the year, 1 game ahead of the Syracuse Spartans for first place in the NYCBL Eastern Division. First one to Loeffler is over the plate for strike 1. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Loeffler recorded a first pitch out his first time up, a ground out to Jared Grosguth. Here's the 0-1, and the fastball gets the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Fun fact, after that fly out to Colin Matthews in the previous at-bat, that's the first ball in play that resulted in an out that did not feature an assist from Jared Grosguth at third base. As the breaky ball's in the dirt to Loeffler. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Couple ground outs to Grosguth, the fielder's choice, and a double play as well. Here's a 1-2. And the breaky ball is chopped towards Grosguth again, right on cue. He snags it. The throw to first is a little high, but in time and on target for the second out of the inning. So Morriser has worked through the first 2 Syracuse batters of the inning with ease.
And Jared Grosguth has just been really consistent. And him and A.J. DiFilippo have been really splitting time at third base. But right now, Jared Grosguth has to have the upper hand with his play at the third base bag.
Here's the shortstop, Andrew Padone, who reached on a walk in the first inning. First one him this time up is a fastball that stays up. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Padone is one of 3 All-Stars for the Spartans, unlike the Flames. The Flames, all 3 of their All-Stars are pitchers. For the Spartans, all 3 are hitters. Padone hitting .374 on the year coming into this one. As the pitch just missed for ball 2, the count 2 balls and no strikes. Padone has been good overall against this Flames team to this point in the year, and against them 2 weeks ago, he was 2 for 4 with a couple hits, and he was at the plate when the winning run scored in the bottom of the 11th inning. 2-0. Off speed is inside. Count is either 2-1 or 3-0 now. Scoreboard says 2 balls and 1 strike. However, we are going with 3-0 because we did not see a strike call on the pitch prior. Oof. Pitched inside for ball 4, and Padone is on with a 4-pitch walk, his second walk of the night, and his 20th on the season. 2-out walk and a 2-out base runner for the Spartans. Here's John Masagno, another All-Star for the Spartans squad, and he is the second leading hitter on the team, hitting .395 coming into this one. 30 hits on the year, and he reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Came around to score the only Spartan run so far in this one. First one for Morriser is a breaky ball in the dirt. Holding at first is Padone. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and no strikes. The other All-Star batting 5th in the order is Lou Michelli, the leading hitter on the squad at .404 on the year. Those are 3 pretty easy selections from the Syracuse squad for the All-Star game, as the 1-0 to first is not in time. Rather, just the thrower to first. Still waiting on the 1-0 is Masagno at home plate. Morriser has the sign from Peterson. And here's the 1-0. Pitches outside, the runner was going, throws a bouncer, but it's in time, and the tag is 2. Padone caught stealing, and that retires the side. 2.5 innings down here from OCC Stadium, and on a beautiful Friday night, the Flames are ahead 5-1. Set to begin the bottom of the third inning here from OCC Stadium. 5, 6, 7 in the Flame order to begin the bottom of the third inning. And the first two batters are both from Lake Erie College. Here's Corbin Paxton to lead things off. Might be a little tough on our video camera to see some of the play around home plate and in shallow left field due to the shadows right now, the reflection from the sun. First one to Paxton, meanwhile, is a breaky ball on the outside corner. Strike one, the count, no balls, and a strike. Paxton struck out looking in his first plate appearance as the 0-1 is fouled back to the netting. Strike two, the count, no balls, and 2 strikes. As Saprosky is quickly approaching 60 pitches on the night. He threw 35 in the second inning, in which the Flames scored all 5 of their runs. 0-2. Paxton swings and misses at a breaking ball in the dirt. No tag necessary as the third strike was not dropped by the catcher Nolan Watson, and that is the first out of the inning. That brings up Trace Peterson, the catcher. He walked on 4 pitches his first time up, came around to score on the RBI single from A.J. DiFilippo. As here's the first one to Peterson. Breaking ball is a beauty on the inside corner. Strike one, the count, no balls, and a strike as here in the third inning, it seems like Saprosky has found his rhythm once again. As the 0-1 pitch is inside on Peterson for ball 1. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Saprosky, remember, he retired the Flames in order pretty easily, 1-2-3. As Peterson lines one out towards left center field. That one will drop in there for a base hit. A one-hop for Loeffler. Peterson took the big turn around first, but he puts on the brakes and holds up there with a single.
And Saprosky isn't really throwing anything that the Flames haven't seen before. And when he leads them over the plate, in the last 2 innings, the Flames have really been making him pay. There's another ball hit out into between left and center field, and it's just down for a base hit, and the Flames are going to continue to hit those pitches all night long.
And it's not the first time the Flames have faced Nate Saprosky either. Here's Jack Cherno, who drove in the Flames' first round of the game with an RBI single his last time up. He squares up the bunt, but pulls it back just in the nick of time. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball, and no strikes. For Cherno, that was his 7th RBI of the year, as the field umpire Sean Martin confirms that Cherno didn't pull the bunt back in time. And Cherno is hitting .304 on the year coming into this one. Here's a 1-0. Big swing and miss at a fastball in the upper third of the zone. Strike one, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. So the first 2 runs that scored for the Flames in the second inning were driven in by the guys from Columbia. As Cherno steps back into the box. Here's a 1-1 from Saprosky, and Cherno fouls it back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that hit was a jam shot. It was a blooper that was just behind the shortstop Padone going out to left center field, and just between both the left fielder Spinell and the center fielder Loeffler. It was bobbled a little bit, and Colin Matthews hustled his way home from second base as a result. 1-2. Fastball is hit pretty well into center field, but Loeffler, after taking 2 steps back, comes in. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning, and Trace Peterson goes back to first base. Here's the third baseman, Jared Grosguth, and he laced a single into left field his first time up. Came around to score his 11th run of the season on the RBI hit from Mike Stefan. Flames pretty much went station to station when they were scoring their runs in the second inning. As the fastball is on the outside corner for strike one, the count, no balls, and a strike to Grosguth.
And I think Jared Grosguth has played so much better since his mother has arrived from Rhode Island. Maybe it's just the pressure of her being in the stands has given him a kick in the pants.
0-1 is chopped foul to the left side. Strike two, the count quickly 0-2, and I don't think it's pressure. It's just the support, you know?
Support, yeah.
When your family's here, you tend to play a little better, you know, because you know you have people in the stands supporting you, and they want to see you do well. As Grosguth steps back into the box. Quickly with an 0-2 count in this at-bat against Saprosky. We'll see how he does with a 2-strike count this plate appearance. And Grosguth swings and misses at a fastball that will retire the side. Saprowski strikes out 2 Flames batters on 3 pitches each, and Onondaga strains a runner at first base. After 3 innings of play, though, it's 5-1 Flames here on Team Line. Welcome back, everybody, to OCC Stadium. Eric Moon and Morgan Chapman with you this evening. Flames ahead of the Spartans 5-1 in a battle for the lead in the NYCBL Eastern Division. The Flames, if they lose tonight, cannot lose their grasp on first place, but with Cheryl's victory over Cortland less than a half hour ago, as the pitch is outside from Morrisroe to Masagno, 1 ball, no strikes. With Cheryl's win tonight, if the Spartans come back and win this game, 3-way tie for first place in the NYCBL Eastern Division between those 3 teams. 1-0 fastball stays high for ball 2. The count 2 balls and no strikes. And in this at-bat, we're back to the count in which Masagno was at when Padona was caught stealing to end the top of the 3rd inning. Here's a 2-0 for Morrisroe, and the fastball is outside for ball 3. The count 3 balls and no strikes. As Morrisroe is approaching 50 pitches on the night. He's at 47 right now. He was at 44 coming into this inning. Here's 3-0, and the fastball finds the outside corner. Strike 1, the count now 3 balls and a strike.
Morrisell's really been helping himself out at the plate, though. So far, he's only surrendered 2 walks to his name up until this point.
Fouled back to the screen by Masagno, and the count runs full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Masagno out of Eastern Connecticut State University. 5'11", 185-pound right-handed batter. He'll be a sophomore at Eastern Connecticut State in the fall. Here's the payoff for Morrisroe, and the fastball just misses the upper third of the zone. It's ball 4, and Morrisroe's 4th walk of the night, 1 in each of the first 4 innings to this point.
Man, that was a close pitch, too.
Here's Eddie Peachman. 3 homers on the year. 2 of them came against the Flames in their last meeting 13 days ago. And a lot has changed with both teams since the meeting between these two that went 11 innings back on June the 23rd. As the first one to Peachman here is a fastball high. Ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes.
Was the one thing you were going to say that changed is McLean O'Connor?
No, not McLean O'Connor, though that is one of the big changes for the Flames. The Flames have been playing good baseball. They were in second place, but they were 3 games back of the Spartans. It became a little bigger, that deficit in the division after the loss. But the Spartans were 13-5 after that win, as Peachman chops it foul to the left side, and they were streaking. They were winning a lot of games. It was their 7th win in a row when they beat the Flames. However, since then, they have lost 5 of their last 6 of their last 7 ball games.
Yeah, they're 4-6 in their last 10.
They've dropped to 14-11 on the year, and they've had a rainout or two to add on to that one. They're over to first is not in time to get Masagno. Ball and a strike, and we've seen the stats go down a little bit. They still lead the league in batting average at .310. They have a fantastic offense. Those numbers have stayed steady pretty much. They're in the top 3 in multiple categories in the league. As Peachman drills one into center field, Cherno racing back, he makes the catch.
But, Eric, I think the one area that a lot of these teams in the NYCBL struggle with, and that's the one thing, it's like the blessing in disguise that the Flames have, is just their pitching staff isn't as good as some other teams. Like the Flames are able to have at least, 3 or 4 really solid starting pitchers. They have at least 2 solid closers as well, and middle relievers do their job. But there's teams like the Cortland Crush, like the Syracuse Spartans, that just struggle a little bit in the pitching department.
Yeah, and the Spartans, they're not really, statistically, they're not a bad pitching staff compared to other teams, as the throw to first was not in time. They rank they rank well. They rank in the top in either 3rd or 4th in the majority of categories. They're 4th in ERA, 4th in hits allowed per game, 3rd in runs and earned runs allowed per game. Close play at first this time, but the throw over was still not in time to get Masagno. But they have been depleted a little bit pitching-wise. They've already lost 3 pitchers for the year. Isaiah Osby, Kevin Hummer, Anthony Kane. Kane, that was against the Flames on June 23rd as the breaking ball just misses inside. And that is an interesting story because Kane, he got hurt initially on a pickoff move to second base in the first inning of that game when the Flames scored 4 runs. He hyperextended his knee, we found out later, so that's not a serious injury. He would be back at this point as the 1-0 to Michelli is low and away. However, I mentioned this on the broadcast. He was hitting the ground. He was hitting the ground hard with his right hand at the end. During, when he was hurt, he was punching the ground in frustration. He's done for the year because when he was punching the ground in frustration, he broke his hand. As here's the 2-0. Breaky ball just misses for ball 3. The count 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an unfortunate situation for him to do that, to break his hand. And this is the one thing I remember my high school basketball coach, he always preached that to us, was just, be careful after you hurt yourself or you're frustrated with yourself, because if you do anything like that and you can, inflict pain on yourself, it's just going to hurt you more than it'll hurt the team. And that one's going to be in there for strike 1.
3 balls and a strike now to Michelli. Our video feed has frozen once again. Not sure what happened this time. We will do our best to fix the video portion of our broadcast. As here's the 3-1. Michelli lines it down the right field line. Matthews hustling for it, but that lands foul. It's strike 2. The count runs full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Beautiful job from Connor Morrisrow as he threw 3 straight balls against Michelli. Now has battled back into that, and now it's a 3-2 count. See if he can collect out a strikeout victim, as he only has 1 to his name so far in this ball game.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Michelli. He grounded out to third base with a 2-2 count way back in the first inning. That was the final play in the top half of the first inning. Pitches up. It's ball 4, even with Masagno running. 2 runners on and 1 away. Robert Anders to the mound to talk to Connor.
Well, I mean, it just makes sense. This is 2 walks surrendered in the same inning. Coming into this inning, he only had 1 each inning so far. So, with that being said, Robert Anders, again, a guy who preaches positivity to his players. He's just going to go out there and say, hey, Connor, everything's okay. Although there are runners on first and second. We'll see how the Flames can adjust to this. It's just trying to see how he's feeling. His pitch count is getting kind of high, but We've seen players like Gunnar Groen go the distance a couple of times this season, so would be no surprise if Connor's going to stay in there on the mound for the Flames. And Robert Anders and the team just trying to regroup. They have that 5-1 lead right now, and they're trying to maintain that as they go into this ball game. And this timeout gives us a beautiful break to readjust our video connection, as it's still having a bit of trouble trying to connect. Hopefully we'll straighten it out for you, though. Eric Moon all over the technology here.
It has something to do with the cord connecting our camera to the computer that we are broadcasting tonight's game from. But meanwhile, back to the action. Here's the first baseman, Brandon Shirley, who reached on a walk to lead off the second inning. Runners at first and second, and one out in the inning. First one to Shirley is a pitch up and away. Ball one, the count 1 and no strikes.
Looks like the video feed's all back, and hopefully it'll be back for the rest of this ball game.
Hopefully. If it doesn't, we apologize for any future technical difficulties we have with the video feed. We are doing our best up here trying to get going, but it's better than some of the other difficulties we have had technically in the last 2 nights.
Absolutely.
Morrisroe fakes a pickoff to second base, just a little step off. Now the Spartans are quite the threat on the base paths. They're a very, very good base running team, easily the best in the NYCBL, certainly statistically, as the pitch is outside to Shirley, 2 balls and no strikes. They lead the league by at least 20 stolen bases in that category. They're at 95 of the year coming into this game. They have another stolen base tonight, courtesy of John Masagno. 96 of 123 on the base paths. More attempts and more stolen bases by far than any other team in the league. 2-0. Pitches over the plate for a strike. Throw it out to third is a little high, and the double steal is successful. So right on cue, the Spartans add stolen bases number 97 and number 98 to their current season statistics, and they're runners on second and third with 1 away and a 2-1 count.
And who else but Masagno to pick up that stolen base and lead the charge on the base path for the Spartans.
Second stolen base of the night, 9th of the season, and Michelli has his 13th stolen base of the year. Breaking ball is outside. Ball 3, the count 3 balls and no strikes to Shirley. And Morrisroe, when he's out of his mojo, it's not that he misses badly with pitches. It's that he misses often. Mm-hmm. We've seen that in this inning. 2 walks in the inning. In danger of walking at third, but Shirley swings and misses at a good fastball. Strike 2, the count runs full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Shirley was served a walk his first time up, as we just mentioned. He was the second walk of the night served by Connor Morrisroe. Here's a payoff, and the fastball is just low for ball 4. That loads the bases, and it brings up Ray Zincone, the second baseman. And Zincone himself has had a good year, but there's also a huge statistical difference between the Spartan all-star hitters, as well as Nolan Watson, who has played in only 13 games coming into this one, and the others. And that's not because of the other hitters like Ray Zincone, who are having great seasons at the plate. It's because Padone, Masagno, and Michelli have just been that good. First one is Zincone, is an off-speed over the outside corner. Strike 1, the count, no balls, and a strike. Batting .306 on the year through 18 games. 19 of 62 at the plate, now 63 after he grounded into a double play in the second inning. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball up, and it forces Zincone to duck and cover. Count evens up at a ball and a strike.
You talk about Morrisroe, and when he misses badly. There's an example of that. But thankfully for the Flames, they're in position to pick up a double play if it's a soft grounder in the infield to get out of the inning without letting the Spartans score a run.
Zincone, meanwhile, has 8 RBIs in the year. Of his 19 hits, 2 doubles and a homer. Fouled it back to the netting. Strike 2, the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chris Burnett warming up in the Flames bullpen right now. Burnett told us that Coach Robert Anders told him that he would be getting into the game at some point tonight after pitching just an inning last night in relief against the Sherrill Silversmiths. 1-2 breaking ball is hit pretty well into left center field. Coming on and making the catch is the left fielder. Throw down to home plate is in time. What a throw for Mike Stefan. Right into the mid of Peterson, and the tag was there for the out. 7-2 double play, and the Spartans are held off the scoreboard. 5-1 Flames after 3.5 from OCC Stadium. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line, set to begin the bottom of the 4th inning. A.J. DiFilippo, the designated hitter, to lead things off. 9-1-2 in the Flame order tonight. Well, rather here in the 4th inning, not tonight.
Not tonight. Not tonight, Eric.
Oh, boy, here's DiFilippo. Great start to the inning on our side. First one, DiFilippo is a breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike one, the count, no balls and a strike. Nate Saprosky out there for his 4th inning of work in tonight's start. That last pitch was number 70. And number 71 is a broken bat roller towards second place. Zincone gloves it and throws it to Shirley at the first base bag in time for the out. Shirley avoids the broken bat head. And that is the first out of the inning.
DiFilippo is the king of broken bats. He's had a couple this season. Every time we go down in the dugout to grab the guys for post-game interviews, he's always down there signing the broken bats with his teammates.
And I can claim to have interviewed a player on this Flame squad, Adam Gordon, with a broken bat 2 nights ago.
Hashtag Moonmikes.
All right. Well, here's McLean O'Connor breaking ball. Well, rather, the fastball stays high. Ball 1, the count 1 ball, no strikes. And there is an interesting story about broken bats in general that I have. It was about 8 or 9 years ago. I was watching a Nationals game against the Red Sox as the breaking ball missed and pops out of the glove of Watson. 2 balls and no strikes. And so Elijah Dukes, who played long ago with the Nats, he was a good player with them, but not really for a very long time. He was the batter at the plate. And here's the 2-0. Fastball just missed the outside corner, 3-0 to O'Connor. And so he breaks his bat on a roller to short, but the bat head is bouncing towards the shortstop, Nick Green, at the same rate that the ball is rolling towards him.
Oh, my goodness.
As the 3-0 fastball is on the inside corner, 3 balls and a strike. And the priority in that situation is actually the bat head so you don't get hurt.
Right.
So Green actually had to take the error on that one as O'Connor grounds it towards second. Zincone makes the play again. Throw over to first is in time. Another 4-3 put out 2 away quickly here in the 4th. So Green ended up hopping over the bat head and letting the ball roll under him into left center field. It was an error, but it was a necessary error, if anything, for Nick Green.
Safety first, Eric.
That's the moral of the story. Safety first with those broken bats. First one to Mike Stefan is a breaky ball on the inside corner. Strike one, the count, no balls and a strike. But that's one of those few situations for these ball players in the field where it is safety first, or in general, when they're sprawling for diving grabs, as Stefan hits it high in the air to left field, not particularly deep. Caught there by Nick Spinella, and that retires the side. Easy 1-2-3 inning for Nate Saprosky. We're on to the fifth inning, 5-1 Flames here on Team Line. This is Flames baseball.
Welcome back to Flames baseball here in the top of the fifth inning as the Flames still lead the Syracuse Spartans 5-0. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I'm Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon to give you the fifth and the sixth inning here in this ball game. And this one is living up to the hype for the most part, especially if you're a Flames fan, because Flames still lead 5-1 with Nolan Watson, the catcher, digging his spikes into the batter's box here. Connor Morrisroe still on the mound for the Flames here in inning number 5. First pitch from Morrisroe is way inside. Just ducking out of the way is Nolan Watson. Eric, how many pitches is Morrisroe at right now?
He is at 70 pitches even now.
So 70 even for Morrisroe. Pretty nice number for him to be at here, but we'll see how much further he will go. The 1-0. This one misses outside, and just like that, it's a 2-0 hitter's count here for Nolan Watson, who was a strikeout victim the last time he was up, the first of the ball game for Connor Morrisroe. But 2-0 is the count here. Here's the 2-0 delivery. And this one is going to be low. And the count goes to 3-0. Now Morrisroe has his work cut out for him, needs to battle back to stay alive as Chris Burnett continues to warm up in the bullpen for the Onondaga Flames. Pitched one inning last night, but 3-0. Here's the 3-0 delivery. Right down the chute, exactly where you need it to be. And that's going to tag the zone for strike one. Count goes to 3-1 on Connor Morrisroe. Let's see if he can battle back in this at-bat here against Nolan Watson. 3-1 wind up and cut on, fouled away. And just like that, he does do what I just mentioned. Battles back into a 3-2 count, full count here. Trying to avoid the walk, and Gunnar Groen comes out to collect that foul ball. 3-2 is the count, though. He has walked 6 batters, trying to avoid his 7th year. 3-2 payoff is delivered. Inside corner, but misses too high, and just like that, there's walk number 7 for Morrisroe.
Yeah, as he's getting later into the outing, he's walking more guys because he's just missing the zone a little more often. You know,
Right.
that's what happens when you get a little tired on the mound, and but he's done a great job to this point in getting out of the jams that he's gotten, and that for sure you can give credit to Morrisroe.
You sure can. So this is Nick Spinella, the Lemoyne product, playing left field this evening. He squares the bunt, isn't going to be able to get that one down. That's going to be strike one on him. Count goes to 0-1 on Spinella as we see Gunnar coming into the frame and grabbing another foul ball. But Spinella just finished his freshman campaign at Lemoyne. Has had a pretty decent season here with the Spartans, trying to get better this summer. Here's the 0-1, squares the bunt, pulls it back in time. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. But coming into this ball game, batting at 286, 14 for 49 at the plate. Not too shabby. There are his numbers. Pretty even with his numbers at college this year. A little bit better. He did bat a 184 this season for Lemoyne. As checked down at first base is Nolan Watson. As Morrisroe, he sure will check on his base runners all around the path. He most definitely wants to make sure that they know that he is keeping an eye on them. And we've seen it all night long so far. 1-1 count. Here it is. Squaring the bunt. Spinella gets it down this time. Could be two. Morrisroe guns it over, and it's going to be an error made by Morrisroe, as an errant throw is going to have Watson reach third base safely. Score that as an E1. And just like that, Spinella's on with the fielder's choice.
That it's the fielder's choice and an E1, and that's an ill-advised throw by Morrisroe, because with Watson's speed and the good jump he got, if that throw's there in time and on target, he's safe anyway.
Right.
So the right play to make was to throw it to first. It's the safe play, and that's what Morrisroe probably should have done on that play.
Probably should have, but we'll see if Josh Loeffler can help the Spartans break into this 4-run lead that the Flames have. He is over 2 on the evening so far. First pitch is a breaking ball. It's going to tag the inside corner for strike 1. But Loeffler has had back-to-back groundouts to Jared Groskuth down the third base line. But now the Flames trying to hold on to this lead. Runners on the corners for the Spartans. Morrisroe and Peterson getting the sign. He's going to fake the third, step off, not even throw over to first. But runners on first and third. It's Nick Spinella on first, Nolan Watson at third base. 0-1 count here on, a 0-1 count here on Josh Loeffler. This one cut on back towards the screen. Count goes to 0-2 on the center fielder. But Loeffler has done a nice job this season with this team. And one of those other batters that coming into this ball game had the average above 300. It's probably dipped below that now after he's 0 for 2 on the evening. Trying to drive in a run here for the Spartans. Here's the 0-2. This one cut on a miss. Runner going is Spinella. Errant throw, though. Spinella is going to be in there. But he's out.
Batter's interference. Loeffler was going back to the dugout in time, but once he struck out, and it got in the way of Peterson's throw because the Spartan dugout was on the first base side.
Makes sense. So batter's interference is going to be the call for Josh Loeffler. There's out number 1 in the ball game. Excuse me, out number 1 and out number 2, as Nick Spinella is going to be out as well. But here is Andrew Padone, the shortstop, as he winds up and ready to hold off on that first pitch because it misses outside for ball 1. Padone, another guy, all-star selection, batting average well into the 300s. Hasn't registered an at-bat, though, as he's reached twice on a walk so far. So another guy that you can expect quality at-bats from as he watches the first 2 pitches go by. Now the count is 2-0.
All-Star game right here at OCC, 5 p.m. The Home Run Derby on Monday nights, 6:30 p.m. as the All-Star game. Christian de Guzman and Chris Russell on the call.
This one chopped foul off the pole. Count goes to 2-1. And again, congratulations to both of those guys getting the opportunity to broadcast the All-Star game. I know Eric, Brandon, and myself, we've all congratulated de Guzman, but I mean, they both deserve it. So again, congratulations to them, and I hope they have a great call that night.
Should be a lot of fun. I'll be in the park, and I hope to hear them through the windows in the seats behind home plate on Monday night.
Let's hope so. Here's the 1-2 from Morrisroe. It's going to be inside, but just missing the inside corner. Man, that was close, but either way, count goes to 2-2 now. Excuse me, 3-1 now. As the scoreboard is not correct. But 3-1 is the count here for Padone. Reached twice on a walk, could collect the third walk of the game. This one's driven out to center field. Jack Cherno, though, way too much speed out there. And look at that, just like that, the Flames, as Eric alluded to earlier, work out of a jam one more time as Morrisroe gets 2 outs on the batter's interference and gets out Spinella at second base, and then the flyout will end the inning. Flames still lead 5-1. We're going to step aside for a quick break right here on Team Line. Welcome back to the Onondaga Flames live stream right here on Team Line. We're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Flames still hold the 5-1 lead with Brian Hart wearing number 5. Up the bat next for the Flames. He's 1 for 2 on the night with the RBI double back in the 2nd inning, part of that huge 2nd inning for the Flames. Nate Spartans still on the mound for the Spartans. That first pitch is going to miss inside for ball 1.
79 pitches for Spartans so far in this one after that first pitch ball.
And no one warming up, so it looks like he's going to keep going for the Spartans. This one popped up. See if Nolan Watson can get a read on it. Might come back into the stands, and it looks like it will. I'm not sure where it landed, but either way, it's just a long strike, and the count goes to 1-1 here on the Flames' second baseman.
And Spartans done a great job on the mound since that 2nd inning when he gave up all 5 Flames runs. He has recovered well, and he's used that inning as sort of a wake-up call to get that 2-strike pitch going again, and he's been pitching really well.
Here's the 1-1. Brian Hart holds off, and for a good reason because it was outside. Count goes to 2-1 now here on the second baseman out of Bryant University. Pretty decent night so far. Let's see if he can get on base one more time. Here's the 2-1. Holds off one more time because that ball's in the same exact position. Now the count goes to 3-1 on Brian Hart. Hitter's count for Brian Hart. See if he can hold off one more time. Here's the 3-1. He's going to swing at that one, chops it foul back towards the screen. And Nolan Watson's going to chase it down. Full count here, but a beautiful at-bat to start things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Let's see if he can make it work out in his favor. Spartans and Watson working together. Spartans shakes off the first pitch. Here's the 3-2 payoff. And it's going to be way inside. And just like that, the Flames have their first base runner of the bottom of the 5th inning with Brian Hart.
Yeah, it's simply a good at-bat by Hart. Another quality at-bat by Flames hitters. He takes the pitches that he needs to. He fouled off a couple. And that last pitch, the full count breaking ball, was well inside for ball 4.
And that's the third walk surrendered in this ball game from Spartans. Here's Colin Matthews, the right fielder. First pitch for Matthews is way high, and Watson's going to fake the throw to first base. Brian Hart back in time, though. Count goes to 1-0 here on Colin Matthews, who is also 1 for 2 on the evening. Had a single. Started the hitting parade back in the 2nd inning. Brian Hart fakes to steal. Either way, this one could be 2. Brian Hart should be there, and he is. He's in there. So just like that, Colin Matthews is going to reach on a fielder's choice, and Brian Hart with a beautiful jump on that play. He was kind of in between first and second base when the ball was thrown, but he's in there.
Well, it's deja vu for pitchers on the mound because in the top half of the game, Morrisroe made the same sort of decision. Spartans just didn't throw it into center field this time.
Right.
This time, he threw it to the bag, but it was still not in time to get Brian Hart. It just wasn't the right decision to make. He should have gotten the out at first base, made the safe play.
Here's a guy who's been struggling this evening. It's Corbin Paxton, who's had back-to-back strikeouts to his name. See if he can get his heat up. That first pitch as he squares the bunt is going to go into foul territory. Speed all around the bases for the Flames right now. Brian Hart on second, Colin Matthews on first base. Both those guys very capable of getting home here. So let's see if Corbin Paxton can change his luck this evening as he's 0 for 2. Spartans and Watson working together one more time. Here's the 0-1, and he squares the bunt, pulls back in time. Either way, it's a strike, and now Corbin Paxton finds himself in a similar situation to his first 2 at-bats with 2 strikes here. Now has to fight off anything close.
And he's in a tough position because facing the left-handed pitcher, he's going to see breaking balls going away from him. But to guarantee Brian Hart at least getting to third base, he has to pull the ball to the right side on the ground.
Here's the 0-2. Brian Hart's going to third, and he's in there. But it's going to be a strikeout for Corbin Paxton, his 3rd of the ball game. But either way, the double steal is on. Brian Hart advances, and so does Colin Matthews. So now 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, he did the job without doing the job. He swung and missed at the breaking ball in the dirt, but both runners advanced on the double steal, and it was a pitch in the dirt too. So, job well done. I guess.
Job well done for sure. Here's Trace Peterson, the catcher this evening, and first pitch in there for strike 1. That last strikeout was strikeout number 6 for Nathan Saprosky in the ball game. He has done a terrific job on the mound for the Spartans. It looks like someone's warming up in the bullpen. We'll get you updated on
Joe
that.
Garrett.
Joe Garrett. Just like that, there's the update. Trace Peterson lines one down the left field line, but it's going to go into foul territory. So the count is now 0-2 on Peterson.
Garrett has pitched against the Flames already this year a couple times. He appeared in the last meeting, pitched 5 1/3 innings in relief of the hurt Anthony Kane, allowed 3 runs, but he was good. He was good on the mound against the Flames in 5 1/3.
And Saprosky really hasn't been terrible. I know he has surrendered 8 hits according to the scoreboard. I'll have to check that with my own. I think it is 7 hits according to my stats, but it is 7 hits. So here it is. This one, Peterson's going to go into fair territory. The run's going to score. So Brian Hart's going to come around to score that run on the ground out RBI from Trace Peterson. Gets the job done, though, and advances Colin Matthews to third base. Just like that, Flames take a 6-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Usually you see that grounder to the third baseman go another way for anybody, really. If the runner is at third base and the ground ball goes to third base,
right?
The runner usually doesn't score. But this was a chopper that worked just as well as a successful suicide squeeze, and the Flames have another run as a result.
So just like that, it's 6-1 now here at OCC Stadium. Jack Chernow digs his spikes into the batter's box and watches the first pitch go by for strike 1. Chernow, who got the scoring started in the 2nd inning, had the RBI single that scored Colin Matthews. Was a flyout victim, though, his last time he was up the bat in the 3rd inning. Second pitch is going to be in there on the outside corner. Now the count goes to 0-2, and this is a very familiar position for Chernow to be in. Somehow, every single time it seems, he works himself out of it. Hopefully he's able to do the same here. 0-2 count, runner on third is Colin Matthews. Here's the 0-2. In outside corner, it's going to miss low, though. Now the count goes to 1-2. Chernow is usually very patient at the plate, but has been working the opposite way lately here. See if he's able to score another run for the Flames. Saprosky and Watson working together with the catcher and the pitcher. Here's the 1-2. This one chopped foul into the screen. We're going to stay at 1-2 is your count here on the Columbia University center fielder. Saprosky just trying to get out of the inning as the damage is already done. Flames have put up 6 runs through 5 innings, trying to get 7 here. 1-2 count from Saprosky. Gets the sign from Watson, delivers the 1-2 on the outside corner. Strikeout victim. Chernow can't believe it, but either way, Flames add 1 more run to their lead. It is 6-1 Flames going into the top of the 6th inning. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. I'm Morgan Chapman to provide you the 6th inning here, and Connor Morrisrell comes out for his 6th inning of work, and John Masagno, the designated hitter, is going to be the first batter faced here in the top of the 6th inning. If you're just joining us, the Flames lead 6-1, trying to hold on for a victory as they sit on top of the Eastern standings in the NYCBL. First pitch for Masagno is in there for strike 1. Masagno is 0 for 1 on the evening. Reached on a walk back in the 4th inning. Got all the way to third base. Wasn't able to score, though. As looks like Marshall is going to step off the mound, give Masagno a second here. He calls time, and now he's back in the batter's box. 0-1 count. Here's the delivery. This one's going to be on the outside corner, but just missing that outside corner. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Morstro has done well in this ball game, only surrendering the 1 run off of the 1 hit. And that pitch is going to be in there on the outside corner for strike 2. So it looks like Connor Morstro is adjusting to the strike zone as this game goes on. He's been really pounding that outside corner, getting 2 of his strikes that way. Here's the 1-2 from Morstro, trying to get that outside corner, but that one's going to get away from him. And now the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the Flames defense has done its job, and it's all thanks to the majority of Connor Morstro and Jared Groskuth. A number of plays have gone to those 2 players, and they've seemed to get the job done so far. Here's the 2-2. Outside corner in there for a strikeout. There it is. So just like that, Connor Morstro says, I'm going to use this to my advantage. Pounds the outside part of the zone and gets a strikeout out of it. That's going to be strikeout victim number 2 on the ball game, bringing up Eddie Peachman, who's done his damage in this ball game. Had the RBI double back in the first inning to score the lone run for the Spartans. Was a flyout victim last time he was up in the 4th. See if he can get things going here for the Spartans. And going right back to that outside corner. It's going to miss, though, is Morstro. So the count goes to 1-0. I mean, it's for Peachman, he can definitely hit it as he's hunched over the plate almost as the 6'4" frame of his. He's going to cut on this one and miss. Beautiful pitch there from Connor Morstro, and you can tell he's finally in a rhythm. This is a guy that takes a little bit of time to get going. He's kind of like that old lawnmower in the garage. You let it sit there all winter, but then you pull the cord a couple of times and it gets going, and that's what Connor Morstro is like on the mound. Here's the 1-1 on that outside corner, but it's going to miss low, and the count goes to 2-1. Peachman, one of the better batters on this team, 3 home runs coming into this ball game. Now has 3 doubles to his name on the season. The 2-1 from Morstro is going to be chopped into the field, and there's his second hit of the ball game as Peachman's going to reach on a single. It's going to get in between Brian Hart and Corbin Paxton for the second hit of the ball game for the Spartans. With 1 away, this brings up number 26, Lou Michelli. Michelli trying to drive in a run. He's 0 for 1 on the evening. Had the grounder down to Jared Groskuth back in the first. We did collect a walk in the 4th inning. Peachman takes a 2-step lead off the first base bag. Morstro is probably going to check him at some point in this at-bat, but not this before he delivers the first pitch. It's going to be on the inside corner this time, but it's going to miss for ball 1. Lou Michelli, another all-star selection, which was well-deserved coming into this ball game, batting a .404, 38 for 94. He's now 38 for 95. Leads the team in at-bats and has played in all 25 ball games for the Spartans. This one's popped up to see if the Flames can make a play. It might get down, and it will. Peachman's going to hold up at second base, but back-to-back hits surrendered from Morstro. No damage done. See if he can get out of a jam. It's the second or third time in the ball game that Morstro has been in a jam, but last time we saw batter's interference work in their favor, getting the 2 outs that way, and see if the Flames can get out of the situation without letting the Spartans score any more runs. Brandon Shirley is the next batter going to be faced for Connor Morstro. He's had a pretty nice night at the plate, reaching both times on walks. Runners on first and second with 1 away here. This one thought about swinging. Probably should have swung at that one as it's going to paint the outside corner for strike 1. With 1 away, an 0-1 count. Runners on first and second for the Syracuse Spartans. Morrisville comes set. Checking on Peachman at second base. He's going to step off the bag. Readjust himself. I don't see Chris Burnett up right now. I'm not sure if he was earlier in the inning, but he was warming up the last 2 innings. See if Morrisville can get out of this jam or if Burnett will have to come in to give him the old assist. 0-1 the count. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Breaking ball that's not going to break just enough, so it's going to miss outside. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike here on Lou Michelli. Michelli, one of the Division III baseball players, plays his college ball at SUNY Brockport. There it is, cut on and missed. Now the count goes to 1-2. This is a guy that you need to get out. Brandon Shirley trying to collect another walk here. Shirley plays his college ball at Wells College, another Division III product, not too far from here. 1 ball, 2 strikes here. Let's see if he can get the strikeout. This one's popped, skied up. Connor Morrisrow calls everyone off. Excuse me, Jared Grosku's going to come and take it. And just like that, there's out number 2 on the pop out. Jared Groskuth has his name tattooed all over this ball game, making another play, and Robert Anders is going to call time. I think this is a very smart and crucial timeout here, as runners on first and second with 2 away. Make sure Connor's head's in the right spot right here. I don't think he's going to get pulled yet. Just wants to check on him, make sure he's feeling okay. Don't want to let this slip with runners on first and second, but in position to get another scoreless inning, as he's had 4 in a row. Raisin Cone will be the next batter faced as Robert Anders jogs off the field. Zincone grounded into the double play. He's actually been, unfortunately for him, he's been a part of 2 double plays for the Flames, as he had the 5-4-3 double play back in the second. Then he had the fly out to Mike Stefan in left field, but then Mike Stefan gunned the runner out at home plate, showing off his big arm. Morrisville steps off the bag to check on Peachman at second base. Beautiful night here in Syracuse, New York. Hardly a cloud in the sky as nightfall is upon us. First pitch is outside for ball 1 as Raisin Cone. But last night, I mean, it was a pretty nice night, and then the game got into the last 3 innings of the ball game, and the clouds started to roll in, and we were washed out. Game against the Cheryl Silversmiths, but no need to worry about that tonight. Morrisrow with the 1 out. This one popped up. Let's see if the Flames can get out for out number 3. It's in shallow center field. Jack Cherno is going to be able to pull it in for out number 3. So the Flames, the Spartans strand 2 more runners on base. Flames get out of the jam. Still lead the Spartans 6-1 going into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Onondaga Flames live stream right here on Team Line. A pitching change has been made. It's Joe Garrett of the College of St. Rose on the mound now for the Spartans. 4.79 ERA coming into this ball game. Has pitched in 20.2 innings. Surrendered 20 hits, but has 15 strikeouts to his name. This is Jared Groskuth, the batter in the box for the Flames, with A.J. DiFilippo awaiting his turn on deck. So Garrett gets the sign from Watson, and we're ready to get back underway here in the bottom of the sixth. First pitch for Garrett, tagging the inside corner for strike one. Flames still lead 6-1. We're able to put up a run in the bottom of the fifth inning to add to their lead, trying to hold on for the victory here. Jared Groskuth holds off, and just like that, he can't believe it. It's strike two, as he thought that one was too low, but home plate umpire says otherwise, and just like that, 0-2 count. Garrett has a couple of pitches to mess around with, if you will. Here's the 0-2. This one's going to be in there for strike three, and Jared Groskuth doesn't swing at 3 pitches, and just like that, Garrett comes on the mound and gets the job done. Strikeout victim number 1 to his name. A.J. DiFilippo will be the next batter faced for the Syracuse Spartans. He's 1 for 2 on the evening. Last time up had the broken bat grounder, as he has a different bat in his hands now. The first pitch is going to miss outside for ball 1. Here's the second pitch. This one chopped foul back towards the screen. Count goes even. 1 ball and 1 strike. But this game has been moving in a steady pace as we're here in the bottom of the 6th. It's already 9 o'clock, but Flames trying to hold on to this lead here. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 away. Here's the 1-1. This one's going to bounce into the turf, and the count goes to 2-1. Pretty decent crowd on hand here at OCC Stadium as well, as it's a Friday night, and it's the battle on top of the division here. 2-1 from Garrett. And that one's going to be too high. Count goes to 3-1 here for DiFilippo. A.J. DiFilippo didn't have the best night last night, but he's had a pretty decent night at the plate here tonight. See if he can draw a walk, and he will with that pitch missing outside. Flames get their first base runner of the bottom of the 6th inning. And Garrett surrenders his first walk. Back to the top of the lineup we go. It's McLean O'Connor. One more time. Let's see if he can get things going for the Flames, as he has an RBI to his name. Came around to score back in the 2nd inning. But last time he was up, he had the grounder to Zincone at second base. First pitch for him. He's going to watch it blow by for strike 1. Runner on first is A.J. DiFilippo, and the batter on deck is Mike Stefan with 1 away here. Flames still lead this one 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. McLean gets set, watches this one go by, and it's just like that, he finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Back-to-back beautiful pitches from Garrett. Mike Cordero doing his best to give some signs to the batters to see if McLean can get a hit here. Checking on A.J. DiFilippo is Garrett on the mound, but he's back in time safely. And now the count is 0-2, 1 away with McLean O'Connor. He's been absolutely fantastic as of late for the Flames. Garrett taking his time on the mound. Gets the sign. Here's the 0-2. This one on the inside corner. McLean holds off and does a nice job of not swinging at that one as it misses the zone. Count goes to 1-2 now here for the Flames batter. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 away. Runner on first is A.J. DiFilippo. This one's way inside one more time. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter for the Flames. McLean's done a nice job. Hasn't had to do too much work at the plate with this at-bat. Hasn't brought that bat around yet. 2-2. This one cut on and missed, and now that's the second strikeout victim for Garrett in the inning. He's coming on and doing his best to hold on to this Syracuse Spartans team. Here's Mike Stefan. Mike Stefan, who's 1 for 3 on the evening, has the RBI single back in the second inning, part of that hitting spree that the Flames were on, putting up a 5-hole in the bottom of the second inning. But see if he can move A.J. DiFilippo around the bases, and just like that, Garrett's going to check on DiFilippo at first base, but he's back in time. Mike Stefan had a heck of a throw from left field to Trace Peterson at home plate to tag the runner out just in time. First pitch for Stefan misses outside for ball 1. Waiting on deck is Brian Hart. Flames have 2 outs. Runner on first base is A.J. DiFilippo. Correct, gets the sign from Watson, comes set, and here's the 1-0. This one driven hard on the ground to Zaccone. Should be easy pickings, and it is for out number 3. So Flames strand 1 runner on base. It's A.J. DiFilippo. Don't add any more runs to their lead. Still lead this one 6-1 going into the top of the 7th inning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line. Flames ahead of the Spartans 6-1 in a battle for the top of the Eastern Division. Eric Moon, Morgan Chapman with you here on Team Line tonight. Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday night, a beautiful Friday night from OCC Stadium. New pitcher for the Flames on, Chris Burnett asking for a meeting briefly with the catcher Trace Peterson. Burnett out of Cal Poly Pomona making his 10th appearance of the season on the bump. 10 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 14 strikeouts, and he has no record to this point in the season. First one to Nolan Watson is over the plate for strike 1. The count, no balls and a strike. He pitched 1 inning last night against the Cheryl Silversmiths. He kept them off the scoreboard. It was an easy 1-2-3 8th inning. It was the last half inning of play between the Flames and the Silversmiths last night. 0-1. Watson chops it towards short. Good hop for O'Connor. He guns it to first in time for the out, and that is the first out here in the 7th inning. Now, Chris Burnett, he has a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, and if you're from the central New York area or live here, you know of a guy named Nico Tamurian, who is the sports director at CNY Central. Well, Nico is going to try and hit Chris Burnett's fastball on Wednesday at between 3 and 4 o'clock here at OCC Stadium. First pitch fastball over the plate. Strike 1 to Nick Spinella. That is part of his weekly I Challenge Nico segment on the local news here in Central New York. And he will try and hit Chris Burnett's fastball. The filming will take place early in the day Wednesday, and it will be on the 11 o'clock news on Wednesday night. Pitch misses just outside for ball one. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. And it's going to be combined with us interns, too. Some of the interns will be here to try and hit Chris Burnett's fastball as well, which I bet right now that Morgan is going to whiff big time as Spinella fouls one away to the left side. Many of us are, but I think I'll do a little better than you, Morgan.
Okay, whatever you say, Eric. If you can talk the talk, you have to walk the walk, my friend.
I will try. I'm just messing with you, though. There's a reason I'm not putting money on the line for this. 1-2 the count to Spinella, and Burnett's fastball is fouled away to the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Chris Burnett is an all-business approach to this game. He loves the game of baseball. I was talking to him last night post-game, and, I mean, this guy is as motivated as anyone in that dugout, and especially when he's on the mound, this guy is just dialed in and ready to go.
1-2 the count to Spinella, the left fielder. Here it is from Burnett, and the breaking ball is swung on a miss for strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Burnett, and there are 2 away here in the 7th inning. Interesting note on his stat line, he has allowed 3 runs on the year, as we just mentioned. All of those came against the Spartans in the last meeting between these two teams. So in every other appearance, except for the one against the Spartans earlier this season, he hasn't allowed a run yet. As here's Josh Loeffler at the top of the order. Now the 4th time through the order for the Spartans. First one at Loeffler is a fastball on the outside corner. No balls and a strike.
Looks like Jimmy Flahive is up in the bullpen just getting loose here early on.
That is Jimmy Flahive in the bullpen for the Flames. Burnett relieves Connor Morrisroe, who went 6 innings tonight. 0-1 breaking ball stays high. Ball 1. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. Morrisroe easily his longest start of the season. 3 hits, 7 walks, 3 strikeouts, 1 run. That was earned. So besides the 7 walks, easily his best start of the season. Certainly overall it was. As Loeffler bloops one out towards right center field. That one is caught on a dive by Colin Matthews. Rather, he dropped it at the end. And the throw to second is cut off by McLean O'Connor. And Josh Loeffler puts together a hustle double. It was tough to see the ball from up here. It looked like Matthews made the diving catch. However, it was just out of his reach. And it was a one-hopper for Jack Chernow.
Man, you have to be really careful when you dive for a ball like that because you could easily snap your arm on the ground. Colin Matthews is a well-built man out there in right field, but heck of an effort to try to get there, but he was able to still get up and make the play either way.
I thought for sure it would be down easily for a base hit.
On his horse.
First one to Andrew Padone is a fastball low for ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes. And the way the ball was hit, and the fact that the gaps are huge, simply put, in this ballpark, you would think that the ball would drop easily, but it didn't drop easily. But it was still a hustle double for Josh Loeffler, runner in scoring position 2 away for the Spartans. Fastball in the lower third of the zone. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
Talk about pounding the strike zone. That's all Chris Burnett is about. He does a really nice job and wastes no time at going right back to work.
1-1 is the count to Padone, who's 0-1 tonight with a pair of walks. Also a flyout to the center fielder, Jack Chernow. Burnett looks off the runner at second, 1-1. Padone grounds it hard to the left side. It is a diving stop it short by O'Connor. The throw to first is a one-hopper, but not in time. The throw was just a little bit to the right of the bag, and Corbin Paxton couldn't quite stay on the bag, so it turns into a 2-out base hit once again. And the Spartans have runners at the corners with 2 away for John Masagno.
And, Eric, those plays, the typical NYCBL shortstop probably can't make those plays, but McLean O'Connor with the speed, he is a great baseball player out in the field.
Probably would have scored a run on that play if the ball got through the infield. First one to Masagno is low. Peterson bobbles the ball as the runner Padone was going for second base. He has a stolen base with ease, his first of the night, and his league-leading 27th of the season.
Good thing Trace didn't throw that ball down because I'm not sure if he would have been able to get him out, and that could have easily scored a run for the Spartans.
So the count is 1-0 to John Masagno. Over 2 night for him at the plate. He has scored the only Spartan run to this point. Breaking ball on the inside corner. Strike 1, the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Other than that, he has walked in the 4th inning and he struck out looking in the 6th, both when leading off the inning. 1-1 the count. 2 runners in scoring position now for the Spartans, and the 1-1 breaky ball's in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike to the Spartan designated hitter. Masagno on the year has 13 RBIs. That is good enough for 4th on the team in that category, just behind Eddie Peachman, who is on deck for the Spartans. 2-1. Fastball chopped foul towards the Flames on deck circle. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Flames back in action tomorrow. They'll be right back here at OCC as the road team against the Syracuse Saltcats. Brendan and Morgan have the coverage for you. And then the Flames will travel to Rome on Sunday in their final game before the short All-Star break. I will have coverage for you from Rome, as Masagno lines one into left field for a base hit. 1 run is already scored. Padone has the stop sign, and it is now a 6-2 ball game on Jonathan Masagno's RBI single, driving in his 14th run of the season.
Just one left, too far over the plate from Burnett. And now with Eddie Peachman coming up to the bat next here, Eric, the Spartans are in position to score another run.
Wasn't, the definition of a hanging breaking ball from Burnett, but it hung in the zone. It got the lower third of the zone, but Masagno got good wood on it and turned it into an RBI single in a 6-2 ball game. Here's Eddie Peachman. Good night for him so far. 2 for 3. Gunned over to first base by Burnett, but not in time to get Masagno. Already 2 stolen bases tonight for Masagno in the 2 times he has gotten on base. That was his first hit of the night. He has reached base on a fielder's choice and a walk. Here it is to Peachman. The fastball is on the inside corner. That's strike 1. The count, no balls, and a strike. And Peachman with 1 swing of the bat can make this a 1-run game for sure against the Flames, especially against the Flames. As we've mentioned many times before, 2 homers against the Onondaga in their last meeting, as time is called. And they were absolute shots to center field. Much bigger field here at OCC, though, as Trace Peterson and Chris Burnett talk a little bit on the bump. But Peachman could definitely hit it to the fence, certainly over the wall in center field at this park.
He's just such a big player, 6'4", 215. He's just all kinds of power behind him. He has a really nice swing as well.
He has been that big power hitter for the Spartans, hitting .301 coming into this game. 27 hits now on the year. 8 for extra bases as Burnett fakes the pickoff to both third and first base. That third to first move, but he ends up holding on to it.
I think Mike Netzel might have the best third to first move I've seen in this league for sure. He's got at least 2 or 3 guys in a jam in between first and second base.
0-1 to Peachman, and the breaky ball is popped up right side, but it will get out of play. That's strike 2. The count, no balls, and 2 strikes. As for the Spartans coming up for them, tomorrow they will head to Rome. It'll be the Spartans and the Generals tomorrow night and the Flames and the Generals on Sunday night. And then in their final game before the All-Star break, they host the Sherrill Silversmiths before taking on the Cortland Crush in their first game from after the All-Star break in Cortland on Wednesday. Burnett motioning to Pearson, trying to give him the sign he wants. The throw over to first, though, is not in time to get Masagno. As Peterson was giving him some signs, but not quite the sign that Burnett wanted for the pitch he wanted to throw to Peachman. It's an 0-2 count, so he has a few to work with. Here is the 0-2, and Peachman grounds it foul to the left side off the netting of the Flames dugout. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Burnett at 21 pitches now. He has only pitched so far here in the 7th inning. He's allowed 1 run. Now all 4 of his runs allowed on the season have come against the Syracuse Spartans. That game on the RBI single, as throw to first is not in time to get Masagno. The RBI single from John Masagno in the last at-bat.
Eddie Peachman isn't the most patient player at the plate, leads the team in strikeouts with 25 coming into this ball game.
Burnett has the sign ready to go the 0-2. Peterson sets up outside. Here it is from Burnett. Breaking ball, low and away. Try to get Peachman a chase. It's ball one. The count 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Syracuse right fielder. Peachman out of the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. Native of Illinois, Mundelein, Illinois. And as you said, 6'4", 210-pound right-handed batter. He'll be a senior at Wisconsin Oshkosh as he swings and misses at the wicked breaking ball from Chris Burnett, and that will retire the side. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Burnett, but 1 run on the scoreboard for the Spartans. Still a 6-2 advantage for Onondaga at the 7th inning stretch. Back at OCC Stadium for the bottom of the 7th inning. Flames ahead 6-2. Joe Garrett on the bump for the Spartans for his 2nd inning of work in relief. And he faces the meat of the Flames order here in the bottom of the 7th inning to start things off. 3-4-5, and it's Bryant Hart to lead things off. Good night for him so far. 1 for 2, a run scored, and an RBI. First one to him from the righty Garrett is a fastball inside. It gets away from Watson towards the backstop, but nothing doing with nobody on base. 1 ball, no strikes. Hart drove in, recorded his RBI with a double in the 2nd inning as the 1-0 breaky ball is up and in. Ball 2, the count 2 balls and no strikes. And he scored his run after he came around to score on the RBI groundout from Trace Peterson back in the 5th inning. 2-0. Fastball stays high. That is ball 3. Count on 3 balls and no strikes to Hart. He has been a doubles machine for this team. 7 doubles on the year. He hit a double last night as the fastball is on the inside corner, but Hart thought it was ball 4, so he already got rid of the elbow guard and tossed his bat towards Colin Matthews in the on-deck circle.
I love when that happens, Brandon, because Eric, excuse me, as the home plate umpire. Every single time that happens, he takes such a long time and then finally makes that call right as they're walking away.
With Morgan Chapman, I am definitely, most certainly 100% Brandon Ross, as time is called by the home plate umpire. It's better than being called Carl 5 times by your fellow producer, but that is a completely different story. 3-1 from Garrett is a line drive towards center field. It drops in front of Loeffler for a base hit, and Hart has a 2 for 3 night with another hit on the score sheet.
If you leave the ball over the plate just too much for Brian Hart, he will take it and make you pay. Another great example of that right there on that last pitch.
Hit number 27 on the year for Hart in game number 28. Pretty much a hit per game player right now for this Flames squad. Colin Matthews stepping up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 tonight. This is his 21st game of the year, and he has 19 hits as throw to first is not in time, and Hart was going already.
Oh, man.
Garrett throws behind Hart, and he has himself another stolen base.
Man.
Number 13 on the year for him.
Talk about looking foolish. Garrett guns one over to first base. Too bad Brian Hart had the great jump, and he was already about 2 inches away from the second base bag.
They tell you in Little League not to chase the runner. Well, that's exactly what Garrett did that time. Time is called by the home plate umpire. So getting back to Matthews, also pretty much a hit-per-game player. 19th hit of the year tonight in his 21st game. Runner on second suddenly with nobody out. Hart's being a distraction at second base. Padone no longer covering the second base bag, and Garrett decides to step off the rubber for a second. Brandon Shirley on the grass at first base. Lou Michelli playing just to the right of the grass, but playing shallow at third. First one to Matthews. That is a wicked breaking ball from Garrett for strike one. Count is no balls and a strike. Matthews came around to score the first Flame run of the game way back in the second inning. That was his 8th run scored of the season. Garrett fakes the pickoff to second, and Hart goes back to the bag with Ray Zancone there. Just a little wordplay here for names. The Spartans, in my opinion, should give the middle infield a little nickname based on the last names of both of them, as Matthews fouls it away to the right side. Strike two, the count 0-2. Andrew Padone at shortstop, Ray Zancone at second base. The law firm of Padone and Zancone.
Or
That's a great ring to it.
I was thinking more of Pizzone.
Ah, there you go. Spartan pitching coach makes a trip to the mound mid-at-bat to talk to Joe Garrett, the infield, and Nolan Watson. There is a righty warming up in the Spartan pen. And from the looks of it, it is Cody Castle warming up in the pen for the Spartans. Another pitcher that the Flames have seen already this year. As a matter of fact, Cody Castle pitched the final 5 innings against the Flames back on June 23rd and picked up the win. He pitched the 7th inning on in that 11th inning thriller, and he didn't allow a run. Rather, he wasn't charged with a run. There was a run scored in the 7th inning, but he wasn't charged with a run. Walked 5 guys, but he struck out 4. 0-2 the count to Matthews. Big hole on the right side with Zancone shaded towards the second base bag. Similar hole now to the left as Matthews with an excuse me swing rolls it towards short. Padone with a great play, but the one hopper gets by Shirley, scoring his Hart from third base, and the Flames answer the Spartan run in the top half of the inning with one of their own on a miscue from the shortstop Andrew Padone.
So how do you score that one, Eric?
That is a single, and the error scores the run. It is a base hit for Colin Matthews, but no RBI because Hart scored on the throwing error from Zancone.
So it'll be an E6.
It'll be a single and an E6, so Matthews records his 20th hit of the season. Just no RBI on the play. Here's Corbin Paxton. Throw over to first down in time to get Matthews. Paxton hasn't had the best of nights at the plate so far. He has struck out 3 times, 2 of the swinging variety. And another throw over to first is not in time to get Colin Matthews.
That's the second time in the ball game Colin Matthews had a jam shot swing that got down for a base hit.
First one to Paxton, fastball outside. Ball 1, the count 1 ball, no strikes. And to be good, you have to be lucky at times, of course. Matthews, he didn't hit the ball well either time for his 2 hits tonight, but you don't always have to hit the ball well for it to be a base hit. A jam shot into left center as the throw over to first is well high, but Shirley kept it from going down the line. The first one was a blooper into left center field. The second one was just a slow roller. That was the definition of an excuse me swing. And Padone had the tough play to make, but he couldn't make it. Fastball outside, 2 balls and no strikes. And it's an error only on Padone because the throw got away from Shirley. That resulted in the run scoring. It's not an error if Hart stays at third base on that play, but it is because he scored, which is good for the Flames. So it's a good thing that for the Flames that Padone recorded the error. Breaking ball stays high. Ball 3, the count 3 balls and no strikes. With the runner on first base and nobody out for Paxton. Paxton entered the game batting a little above 200. 9 hits on the year. Throw to first is not in time to get Matthews.
He might have jammed his hand.
That is the looks of it. Just a little bit. He signals to the dugout that he's fine. His right hand, jammed just a bit into the bag. Just a hard slide back into the first base bag to try and beat the throw. 3-0. Delayed steal, and Watson throws down a second anyway. It gets away from the shortstop Padone, but not far enough where Matthews had to hold up. But it doesn't matter anyway because it's ball 4.
That's the second time in this ball game, Eric, that the Flames have made the Spartans look a little bit foolish out in the field.
And that's more of a heads-up play. That's more on Nolan Watson and the Spartans than the Flames because that was barely a delayed steal from Matthews. He was not even a quarter of the way to second base at that point, and Watson decided, what the hey, I'm going to throw to second base anyway.
What the hey?
Here's Trace Peterson, and he has an RBI and a run scored tonight, too. Runners at first and second out and nobody out. First one to Pearson, scores up the bunt, lays it down, but foul down the right field line. Strike 1, the count, no balls and 1 strike, but with only 1 strike in the at-bat, he has another chance at the bunt. Perhaps he'll try and get it to the left side of the infield this time. Michelli playing a little back so he can cover that third base bag. Shirley playing in on the grass. A little bit in and a little bit to his left is Racing Cone at second. Throw back to second. It's into center field. Padona wasn't even at the second base bag, and Matthews advances. So does Corbin Paxton. A throwing error on Joe Garrett results in 2 runners in scoring position now and nobody out.
Colin Matthews doing his part, being a distraction. Garrett was a little upset with that. Now it looks like another timeout's going to be called. We'll see if Garrett continues to go on the mound, as he kind of just shrugged his shoulders and said, I'm not coming out. And he still looks like he's trying to fight for a spot on the mound.
No signal made by Brian Burns. Now the signal has been made. Joe Garrett done for the night. However, he has not taken the ball from him yet. He's going to meet with a Spartan infield, and this is a good decision because 2 errors this inning have been made by the Spartans infield. Now Garrett goes to the dugout.
He's
obviously frustrated. Cody Castle to come in for Syracuse, and we'll be right back here on Team Line. New pitcher on the mound for the Syracuse Spartans is Cody Castle. Castle out of Herkimer County Community College, native of Phoenix, New York. Not Phoenix, Arizona, the one that most people know.
Nice catch.
He faces Trace Peterson, who has an 0-1 count with runners on second and third and nobody out. Infield playing in for the Spartans. Castle is making his 9th appearance of the season. He has 1 start in his first 8. He has pitched 15 innings to this point. Here's the 0-1 to Peterson from the righty, and the breaky ball is on the inside corner. Strike 2 at the count. Now no balls and 2 strikes. Book's still open on Joe Goretz tonight so far. 1 inning plus. 1 earned run, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The book's still open on the runs. That's if Matthews and or Paxton score. Peterson grounds it foul down the left field line. No balls and 2 strikes. Though Paxton bats left-handed, but Peterson bats right-handed. But it's easy to confuse them because A, their first names start with the letter P, and B, they both go to the same college. 0-2 the count to Peterson. Here it is from Castle, and it's a swing and miss at a high fastball. First strikeout of the night for Castle. There's 1 away with the runners still at second and third for Jack Chernow.
Finally gives the Syracuse Spartan fans that have come to OCC Stadium something to cheer for.
Castle, meanwhile, on the year, 8 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 10 walks. That was his 13th strikeout of the year. His record is 1-3. The only one came against the Flames. He has a save, and his ERA is at 4.2 right now. Infield still in for the Spartans for obvious reasons. First one to Chernow. Breaky ball low and in. Found the dirt. Ball 1, the count 1 ball, and no strikes. RBI single and a run scored in the second inning for Chernow. Other than that, a fly out to center and a strikeout looking. And on that strikeout looking, the strike 3 pitch from Nate Saprosky. It was a great way for him to end his outing tonight, but it was just wicked. A wicked fastball to Chernow. Pain on the corner as Chernow pops it up left side. That will get out of play. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. And there was nothing Chernow could do with that 1-2 fastball. He was expecting a breaking ball, but the fastball hit the outside corner with perfection. 1-1 is the count to the Flames center fielder. No position player substitutions yet for this Flames squad tonight. As the 1-1, Chernow squares up the bunt and fouls it into the mitt of Watson. The fastball was high in the zone. Matthews didn't go right away. That's usually what you see on the suicide squeeze, just making sure the bunt is laid down. It was not in at strike 2, the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's a really tough pitch to lay down the bunt on regardless.
Yeah.
1-2 is the count to Chernow. And Castle has the sign. Not the biggest lead for Matthews off third. Huge one at second for Paxton. Off speed as well outside to Chernow. And the count runs even now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. As a matter of fact, we haven't seen any position player substitutions all night. Just some changes of pitchers. Chris Burnett in for the Flames out of the bullpen. Joe Goretz and now Cody Castle for the Spartans. 2-2. Off speed is chopped right back to the pitcher. Throw back to home plate, and Matthews is in a pickle. Watson heading down. He tosses it to Michelli. On to second base is Chernow. Meanwhile, Castle has the ball now. At third base is Paxton. Paxton is going back. Matthews gets back to the third base bag. And now we have another pickle. Then back down to third base. It's Lou Michelli. At third is Paxton. Matthews to the bag. There goes Paxton back towards second base. And Chernow's heading back to first now. Nobody's covering the bag, and the bases are loaded. Would you believe it?
I'm honestly just confused in the decision by Michelli to hold on to the ball. I mean, he definitely could have got Chernow out at first. I know it's only 1 out, but man, the Flames, it's kind of one of those things, Eric, where when all cylinders are firing the right way, it's just that kind of night for the Flames.
I am dumbfounded right now at that. That is the best display of base running I've seen all season.
Yeah.
My goodness.
How about Colin Matthews and Corbin Paxton being on the same page and being able to keep transitioning back and forth? Time is called one more time for the Spartans. They need to discuss things after that, but I'm just as dumbfounded as you are, Eric. I mean, what a terrific display, and especially having head coach Mike Cordell there, being able to coach them up and at least discuss what to do. But, man, Colin Matthews, Corbin Paxton, and Jack Chernow, hats off to you guys.
It looked like the Flames had practiced that play before the way it was executed. So after all that, it goes down as a fielder's choice in the scorebook for Jack Chernow. And the Flames, frankly, are making the Spartan infield look silly at this point. As here's Jared Grosskooth with the bases loaded, and the breaking ball is in there for a strike, the count 0-1. And for obvious reasons at the end of that play, the Flames fans in the audience gave Corbin Paxton, Jack Cherno, and Colin Matthews a standing O.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
not a standing O, but quite the ovation. Here's the 0-1 to Grosskooth, and the fastball is swung on and missed for strike 2, and the count's quickly 0-2 on the Flame third baseman. It's just been that kind of night for the Spartans, too. You know, they can't seem to make the right play in the infield this inning, and they have gotten into so many situations where they can score a run, especially against Connor Morris Road tonight, where they just haven't. And they have 2 runs on the scoreboard as a result. 0-2. Breaking ball low and away to Grosskooth. Ball 1, the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Grosskooth 1 for 3 on the night with a single and a run scored. In his other 2 at-bats, he has struck out. One swinging, 1 looking. His strikeout looking led off the 6th inning. 1-2 from Castle. Fastball well up and away, and Watson keeps him from going to the backstop. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Grosskooth entered the game batting .302 on the season. Slightly different from his .308 mark in point streak. He was 0 for 1 with 3 walks in that Sherrill game on Monday. 2-2. That's a beautiful breaking ball from Castle, and it gets Grosskooth looking. Nothing he can do about that one. And it is out number 2 with the bases still loaded.
Third time Grosskooth has gone down on strikeouts in this ball game.
And here's A.J. DiFilippo with a new bat after he broke his bat and with a ground out in the 4th inning. Bases still loaded for him in 2-way, trying to put the game on ice here in the 7th inning. And the first pitch breaking ball is over the plate for strike 1. The count, no balls and a strike. DiFilippo 1 for 2 tonight. RBI single in the 2nd, a walk in the 6th. And between that, the ground out. So until this at-bat here in the 7th inning, he's batted in all the even-numbered innings. A 1 is a swing and a miss at a fastball on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes quickly to DiFilippo. And something we've seen from Cody Castle so far is he pounds his own enough so that he goes up 0-2 quickly on the batter at the plate.
Yeah.
As Jimmy Flahive continues to warm up in the Flame pen. All hands on deck for Onondaga because they know what the Spartan offense can do. DiFilippo fouls it away to the left side, and the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Flames had a 4-run lead after the first inning, remember, back on June 23rd in their last meeting. Spartans battled back to make it a 4-3 game, and it was back and forth pretty much for the rest of the game after that. Flames had a 7-5 lead going to the 8th inning. Spartans tied it, and then it was nothing until the 11th when the Spartans walked it off. 0-2, DiFilippo swings and misses at a breaking ball, and that retires the side. So after the masterful base running by Corbin Paxton, Jack Cherno, and Colin Matthews, the Flames are unable to put a run on the scoreboard. Chris Burnett back to the mound for Onondaga as we go to the 8th inning. It is a 7-2 ball game for the Flames after they did put one on the board in this inning. Welcome back to Flames Baseball here on Team Line as a couple ambulances fly by beyond the center field fence. Lou Michelli is set to lead things off for the Spartans. 5, 6, 7 in the Syracuse order here in the top of the 8th inning. So it's time to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the NYCBL tonight. 4 finals and 1 other game in action so far, as Chris Burnett back on the mound to deal the first one to Michelli, and it's a jam shot foul. Fouled back to the right side for strike 1. The count, no balls and a strike. In Cortland tonight, we have told you this one before. In the East Division, the Sherrill Silversmiths, 7-4 winners over the Cortland Crush. Silversmiths now 16-12 of the year, Crush 13-15. As the 0-1 of Michelli is a breaky ball in the lower third. No balls and 2 strikes. And the Silversmiths, as a result, are a half game back of the Flames at this point, half a game ahead of the Syracuse Spartans in that tight race for the lead in the Eastern Division. And then some distance back are the Cortland Crush as Michelli fouls it away to the right side. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Cortland is back of the Flames by 3.5 games for the division lead, 2.5 behind the Spartans for third. And that is the cutoff, third and fourth place for a playoff spot. Here's the 0-2 to Michelli, and the fastball is fouled back to the screen. Great job by Michelli to reach out and just get a piece of it. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. And then the other game in the East Division, this may be finalized soon. It's in the top of the 9th inning. Rome Generals all over the Syracuse Saltcats tonight, 7-0 at home in their first of 3 consecutive home games. Here's the 0-2 from Burnett, and the fastball stays high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So the Syracuse Saltcats in position to drop to 11-16. The Generals in position to improve to 11-17. And those are the next 2 opponents for the Flames. They stay here at OCC, but they're the road team against the Saltcats tomorrow night. And then Sunday night, Flames go to Rome to face the Generals. Grounder towards third, snagged by Grosguth, and he throws down to first base to retire his counterpart, Lou Michelli. 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and that brings up the first baseman, Brandon Shirley. Meanwhile, out in the Wild Wild West, the Rochester Ridgemen defeated the Olean Oilers 13-8 tonight on the road in Olean. And, well, let's just say it is the Wild Wild West for a reason, because besides the Hornell Dodgers, that is a tight race for 3 playoff spots between 5 teams right now. From the Ridgemen, who are now in first place, down to the Genesee Rapids in 5th, it's a 3.5 game difference. As the off-speed is over the plate for strike 1, the count 0-1 to Shirley. And an even tighter race for that 3rd spot, especially Niagara Power, just a game and a half ahead of the Genesee Rapids right now. Olean drops to 14-13 on the year. The Ridgemen have the lead in the division at 17-11 now. Breaking ball misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Shirley. And the Wellsville Nitros have lost their grasp on the Western Division because they lost at Hornell tonight by the score of 7-6. So the Dodgers do improve to 7-18 on the year. Still well in last place. As the breaking ball is over the plate. Strike 2, the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. As the Dodgers are still 5 games back in 5th place. Pretty much out of it at this point in the season, with time ticking down in the NYCBL season. As of Sunday, there will be 2 weeks left in the regular season. This coming Sunday, rather. 1-2 breaking ball stays up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And then in the other game in action tonight, the Niagara Power defeated the Genesee Rapids 5-0. So this is how the Western Division stands. We'll give it to you right after this pitch from Chris Burnett. 2-2, fastball low and away. Pearson not able to snag it, but no harm with nobody on base. Count runs full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. In first place, the Rochester Ridgemen at 17-11 with the best record in the NYCBL. The Flames, if they hold on to win this game tonight, they will tie the Ridgemen for the best record in the league. Wellsville Nitros in second, half a game back of Rochester at 17-12 as time is called. The Wellsville Nitro coaching staff, after they had the best winning percentage going into after last night's games, best winning percentage in the league, will coach the NYCBL All-Stars. Shirley fouls it back to the screen. Count remains full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And then a game and a half back of the Nitros. In third place, the Niagara Power at 16-14. 2 games back of the Ridgemen. And the Flames have played every team in the Western Division. They went 3-3 against the West. They beat the Ridgemen here at OCC 13-2. Lost to the Nitros here 5-4. Beat and lost to the Niagara Power out west 8-5. Shirley bloops one towards shallow center. It drops in for a base hit. Shirley records his first hit of the night, and the Spartans have a base runner with one away. That brings up the second baseman, Ray Zincona, rather a pinch hitter, and he is the culprit of Brandon Ross's car being hit by a foul ball. Ramiel Rodriguez pinch hitting here in the 8th inning for Ray Zincona, who was over 3 tonight. And you bet that Brandon Ross would like to be on the mic right now, but it's all mine, so we can't insult Ramiel. Throw over to first is not in time, meanwhile, to get Brandon Shirley. And then there's the Oleana Oilers in 4th place in the Western Division, a half game out of the final playoff spot. First pitch to Ramiel Rodriguez is low for ball 1. The count 1 ball and no strikes. The Flames beat the Oilers 5-2 here at OCC a few weeks ago. Oilers now just a game above 500. And then the Genesee Rapids in 5th place, a game back of Oleana, a game and a half back of Niagara. They're over to first, not in time. The Rapids are 13-14 on the year, and the Flames dropped a 3-1 decision to them out in Genesee in the second week of the season. 1-0. Fastball's low again to Rodriguez. 2 balls and no strikes. And then, as we mentioned in last place, 8.5 back at first, 6.5 back of the final playoff spot, and 5 back of the next best team, the next worst team in the division, the Hornell Dodgers at 7-18. Flames beat them 9-6 in 10 innings a couple weeks ago out in Hornell. 2 out of Rodriguez. The fastball is swung on and missed. That's strike 1. The count 2 balls and a strike. Next pitch here for Burnett will be his 40th already in his relief appearance tonight. And again, it's a shocker that Hornell, after dominating the Western Division, clinching the division a day after the All-Star game last year, they are, well, to say the least, down in the dumps in the Western Division when you look at the standings. That's Rodriguez grounds it towards short. Good play by O'Connor. He's out at second. Throw to first is a bouncer, but Rodriguez hustling down the line would have been safe anyway. A 5-4 fielder's choice for the second out of the 8th inning. And that brings up the catcher, Nolan Watson. So that's how the NYCBL looks tonight so far in action, and the Flames, if they win tonight, would keep first place to themselves in the East, and the Syracuse Spartans would have 3rd place to themselves. Throw over to first is not in time. And in Rome tonight, back east, the Generals have beaten the Syracuse Saltcats 7-0. That game is final now. First one to Watson is a breaking ball that misses low. That's ball 1, the count 1 ball and no strikes. Watson is 0 for 2 tonight, but he reached down a walk in the 5th inning. He ended up being stranded at 3rd base, like many Spartan base runners tonight. Not specifically at 3rd base, but getting stranded in general. 1-0. Fastball is chopped to the left side, snagged by Groskuth in front of O'Connor. The toss to Brian Hart. The bag is in time, and that will retire the side. So a couple fielders' choices to end the inning. And the Spartans strand a runner as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Flames ahead of the Syracuse Spartans for the first time this season, looking for a win against them. It's 7-2. Welcome back to Flames Baseball on Team Line. Top of the order for Onondaga to begin the bottom of the 8th inning. That brings up McLean O'Connor. He has recorded 2 hits at least, at a minimum, in his last 2 starts. And, of course, the game-winning triple on Independence Day. He is 0 for 4 tonight, but he has scored a run and driven in a run. He faces Cody Castle to begin the bottom of the 8th inning. Castle back on the bump for his first full inning of work, and the first one to O'Connor is a big swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch that finds the outside corner. Strike 1 the count, no balls and a strike. Castle came in and faced the final 4 batters of the 7th inning, striking out 3 of them. As here's the 0-1, breaking ball low and away. Gets by Watson at the backstop, but no harm with nobody on base. Count evens up at a ball and a strike. And then, of course, the wacky play in the 7th inning that was simply put masterful base running by the Flames, combined with trying to get the Spartan defense off guard. Numerous pickles on a fielder's choice by Jack Cherno that resulted in the bases being loaded and nobody getting out. Another one gets by Watson, 2 balls and 1 strike. It was a comebacker to the mound to Cody Castle. Matthews started going towards home plate, and he was caught in a pickle. Worked a couple throws, and then Matthews went back to the third base back. Paxton was there, and he started going back towards second base before Matthews got there. As O'Connor rolls one towards his counterpart, Padona at short. The throw to first is not in time. It was bobbled at first by Shirley. The throw a little wide right of Shirley. And we'll see how that is scored for McLean O'Connor. Either way, runner on first and nobody out for Mike Stefan. Batting left-handed again against the right-handed reliever. And that will be scored as an E6. 4th error of the night for the Syracuse Spartans. That is, well, let's just say too high of a number simply for any team to win. Stefan pops it up left side. That one is going to land in the Flames bullpen. A souvenir for the bullpen creatures. And it's strike 1 the count, no balls and a strike. Stefan is 1 for 4 tonight. He has batted right-handed 3 times. This is the second time he's batted left-handed. Back at the 2nd inning, an RBI single for him. As the 0-1 is fouled away to the left side off the netting. It's strike 2, the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And for Stefan, the RBI single was his 6th RBI of the season and his 12th hit. Tonight he is playing his 20th game. Rather, his 21st game, as the throw over to first is not in time to get McLean O'Connor, though it was pretty close. So Stefan in a hole here at the plate with nobody out in the inning to this point against Castle. 0-2. Runner goes, and Stefan chops it foul towards the Spartan dugout. Would have been close, certainly at least, if Stefan didn't decide not to swing at the pitch and the ball, well, rather, if he swung and missed or if he took the pitch, would have been a close play at second base regardless, with McLean O'Connor getting another good jump, the speedy fella he is. 0-2 remains the count to Mike. Choking up on the bat with 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Castle throws over to first, but not in time to get O'Connor. In his other at-bats tonight, Stefan has grounded out twice, and he's flied out once to left field. He had a great defensive play out in left field against the Spartans once again tonight. Another throw over to first. Bobbled by Shirley. Didn't quite grab it, so easily safe as O'Connor. It was a fly ball to left field in the 4th inning with the bases loaded. He charged in to make the catch, and then tagging from third, perhaps not the best decision by John Masagno, and Stefan gunned him down with a perfect throw to Trace Peterson at the plate. 0-2. Fastball up and away, a waste pitch to Mike Stefan from Cody Castle, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. And it was an ill-advised decision by John Masagno, not just because of the throw, but because Stefan was at least a quarter of the way, at least halfway into the infield from his position in straightaway left. His time was called by the home plate umpire. It's just been that kind of night, really, for the Spartans. As we have mentioned time and time again. Hasn't been their night as of late over the last couple weeks. 1-2. Stefan fouls it away to the left side, and he is putting together quite the at-bat now. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the Spartans have lost quite a few games since the Flames last played them. Spartans were 13-5 after the walk-off win against Onondaga. Since then, 1-6. Here's a 1-2. Stefan lines one out towards left field, charging in and making a sliding catch is Nick Spinella. Back towards first base is McLean O'Connor. And on a dazzling play, the Spartans record the first out of the inning. That brings up Brian Hart, the second baseman, who has had himself a pretty good night at the plate. 2 for 3. He has scored a pair of runs, and he has also driven in one of his own. Hart has scored now 20 runs on the year, and he's driven in 21, which is tied for the team lead with A.J. DiFilippo. Castle has a sign ready to deal the first one to Hart. Here it is, going as O'Connor. Hart swings and misses the throw down to second as well in time. Is the tag from Rodriguez? Not in time. Stolen base for McLean O'Connor. And now a runner in scoring position at second base with the one away. And no 1 count. And for O'Connor, that is his second stolen base of the season. As time is called by the home plate umpire, a discussion will occur between Thomas Conaboy and Sean Martin. A couple of the Flames fans said it doesn't matter. Don't just keep the game going out in front of us. While they're discussing things, the change, Ramiel Rodriguez was the pinch hitter for Rain St. Cone in the top half of the inning. He's at second base for St. Cone. No other changes for the Spartans this inning. And the home plate umpire says go back to first base to McLean O'Connor. So not a batter's interference that forces O'Connor to be out. However, an interesting call, and Mike Cordero is going to have a discussion with the umpires again, and he's going to be a lot more careful tonight, A, because he was ejected last night, and B, because his team is ahead, so he just wants to get an explanation for this one. In talking to both the umpires, Thomas Conaboy and Sean Martin. But it really isn't anything in the rule book that says the runner goes back to first base for any particular reason. That intel is not up here in the booth as to why O'Connor has to go back to first base. Brian Hart, when that call is made, has arms out like, what for? To the umpires. It's an 0-1 count regardless, and the runner on first with the one away. As the breaking ball misses for ball 1. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Big hole on the right side of the infield. Rodriguez shaded towards that second base bag with nobody there. And covering the first base bag is Brandon Shirley. Hart might try to go the other way, but he has got many of his hits by pulling the ball. Breaking ball was inside. 2 balls and a strike. His double tonight was to left field, and so was his single when he reached to begin the 7th inning. Here's a 2-1 from Castle. The runner goes. The breaking ball is in there for a strike. Throw down to second as well in time. The tag is also in time. So O'Connor, after getting sent back to first base for a reason that we don't know, is now caught stealing this time in a 2-4 putout as some fireworks go off well in the distance. And so now there are 2 outs and a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Brian Hart at the plate. So a puzzling occurrence on the base paths. that does not go as the Flames' way here in the 8th inning. We are just past 10 o'clock, meanwhile, here at OCC Stadium. 10:03 p.m. Just past 3 hours of game time. Approaching 3 hours of game time, rather, as the breaky ball is low and away for ball 3. Count runs full out of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Flames ahead of the Spartans 7-2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And a full count here to Brian Hart with 2 outs and nobody on base. Here's a payoff from Castle, and the breaking ball swung on, missed. Got him to chase the junk, and that retires the side. So the Flames had a base runner, but he was caught stealing on the second try by the Spartans. And the Flames, however, have a 7-2 lead going to the top of the 9th inning. 3 outs to get, and the Flames will try and record their first win of the year against the Spartans right after this.
Welcome back to the OCC live stream right here on Team Line. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Flames lead the Spartans 7-2 with some changes being made. This is Nick Spinella in the batter's box for the Spartans. First pitch from the new pitcher on the mound. It's Jimmy Flayhive. And behind the mound is a new guy as well, isn't it, Eric?
Joe Navenci. He will be an incoming freshman at Canisius College in the fall.
First one chopped down to McLean O'Connor. Fired over to Corbin Paxton for out number 1. For the Flames. Spartans just 2 outs away from losing this ball game, and the Flames about to take sole possession, or I guess a bigger possession of first place that they're already in right now by defeating the Spartans if they can get out of this with the 7-2 lead.
With Flayhive in the ball game here in the 9th inning, that's how you know the Flames are taking the Spartans seriously and trying to keep that 5-run lead where it is.
For sure. Here's Josh Loeffler First pitch misses outside for ball 1.
But this is also a good time to get Joe Da Vinci some reps. He's in on this roster for perhaps the remainder of the season as long as Jake Zurot is concussed. And this is a good time in this kind of game to get some reps.
Second pitch from Flahey, fouled down the right field line, but we'll have to see how well he does. Jake Surratt obviously out for a couple of games after suffering that concussion against the Rome Generals on the final play of the game, or one of the final plays of the game, I
It
should
was
say.
in the 7th or 8th inning, actually. He
Oh,
took
really?
a foul tip on the mask, but he was
Really?
able to finish out the game.
But either way, that one's going to miss outside for ball 2. Count goes to 2-1 here on Josh Loeffler, who is 1 for 3 on the evening so far.
It was after the game that Zurot started feeling symptoms.
This one popped up. See if the outfield can get to it. On this horse is Colin Matthews, who's underneath it. And there's out number 2 just like that. One out remaining for the Syracuse Spartans. It's Andrew Padone, the shortstop, who is 1 for 2 on the evening, reached twice on walks as well. In this ball game, Jimmy Flahey trying to go down 1-2-3 as the closer in this ball game. Then she gives the sign to Flahey. It's right down the pipe for strike 1. Spartans now down to their final 2 strikes of the ball game. See what Padone can do here. The 0-1. Cut on and missed, and just like that, Spartans are down to their final strike of the ball game. 7-2 is the lead right now for the Flames. Flahey gets the sign. Padone needs to swing anything close. Here's the 0-2. This one missing just low to stay alive. 1-2 count here.
And Jimmy Flahey's family once again in the audience tonight. They've been here since Independence Day watching Jimmy pitch in the NYCBL.
This pitch is going to miss low and outside for ball 2. And I tell you, the Flahey's, his mother is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet at one of these ball games. Not to say that anyone else's family has been rude, but it's just such a pleasure meeting all these parents and stuff like that. That pitch misses on the inside for ball 3. Count goes to full at 3 and balls and 2 strikes. But it's been such a pleasure to get to know the players, but also get to know the families of the players. We've had the pleasure of doing that over the last couple of months. 3-2 payoff misses outside, and Padone's going to draw a walk here, giving the Spartans a base runner with 2 outs.
And I tell you what, Padone has done his best McLean O'Connor impression in a game in which your team's getting blown out tonight. O'Connor was was steady at 2 for 4 against the Silversmiths last night. Padone 1 for 2, and he's reached base in 4 of his 5 plate appearances.
Can't beat that. Here's John Masagno. 1 for 3 on the evening. First pitch from Flahey in there for strike 1. Flahey getting the All-Star nod as well. Next Monday, he will be coming into the game at some point. One of the 3 Flames to make the All-Star game. This one chopped over to Brian Hart. Should be the last out of the ball game over to Corbin Paxton. And that will do it here from OCC Stadium. Final in this one. Flames take down the Spartans 7-2. Now we're going to roll into the post-game show here on Team Line. Morgan Chapman alongside Eric Moon. Eric, 7-2 victory over the Spartans. Do you think that home field advantage was working in the favors of the Flame tonight?
I think it was an advantage, but not necessarily a home field advantage. It was a baseball luck advantage because the Flames took advantage of every break they got from the Syracuse Spartans tonight, or just the baseball in general. In the second inning, 3 of their first 4 hits in that rally were just bloopers. They didn't hit the ball that well for those base hits, but they got the base hit, and they put up 5 of the second inning, and that's when you knew the Flames were going to step on the Spartans' throats, to put it bluntly, tonight. And the Spartans had some miscues in the field, too. 4 errors tonight, 3 in the 7th inning, which for them only resulted in 1 run allowed, which was quite amazing to me, especially after the great base running by the Flames on one play in particular.
Yeah, beautiful play. We'll definitely have to dive into that in the post-game interviews. But, Eric, as we keep going, the Syracuse Spartans on that slippery slope as they continue to slide down the standings. If Sherrill took that win, they should have jumped the Spartans down in the standings, so they'll fall down to 3rd. And the Syracuse Spartans will be 3rd. The Sherrill Silversmiths will be 2nd. And now the Onondaga Flames on top of the Eastern Division one more time after tonight's ball game. Fantastic outing. My last thing for you, Eric, would be who's your MVP of this game from the Flames?
Well, I got to tell you what, it's got to be Connor Morrisroe. You know, you can argue that the amount of times he got in jams in his outing tonight, you know, and 7 walks allowed. That's not a good number to have, but he gets the win anyway in his 6th-inning start. First win of the year for him. But, you know, it's still a good start for him. He only allowed 1 run, and he was able to get out of jams. He got the job done, simply put, tonight against this potent Spartan offense.
He absolutely did that. That's going to do it here from OCC Stadium. Final in this one, Flames take down the Spartans 7-2. For Eric Moon, I'm Morgan Chapman. Have a great night, everybody.